Yeah, it's been good for like 2 weeks. Oh, so it just felt cold. My brain's not here either. Even though I'm wide awake, my brain's not here. Oh, what? Oh, it's, tweet. A tweet. That's what I was gonna do. Probably. Oh my god. Chat, you're right. That's another thing. Change to multi-stream for the chat. Thank you for following. NB Love over on Kick. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said blatantly where it was from. Oh well. Eat me Twitch. Oh, you can on Twitch? Oh, okay, they don't care? Good. I had this like vague impression when they like rolled back the multi-streaming ban, or if you want to call it that, that they still were like really weird about like oh yeah, which is never happening, so screw them. If they actually just stopped trying to cling for dear life, I get they will die, literally die before, although to be fair, I thought they'd die before they let multi-streaming happen at all. I know they would die before they just give that up. Like, oh my god, if I could just like have the chat functions and like just God, just give me the chat functions. I don't even care about the label. I would get way more invested in Twitch if like there was any kind of future on it for me, but there's not, because I'm not. They want to own you without hiring you, and that's not happening. It's not happening to me. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that what oh, you did? Wait, where? I'm still, like, figuring things out. Wait, what? Oh my god, you know what? I should probably switch to, the thing that's going on right now.
Multi-streaming.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean I am multi-streaming. I just meant like I was still on the starting soon page, even though we were literally sitting here talking to each other.
Oh, and I have to update my chat command for you before I forget. I'm linking to the wrong thing. There. Okay. Now I'm linking to your Twitch.
I need to make this bigger.
With my shout out command.
Oh yeah, that's the Shy Sub Kitten. Hello, I'm you.
Yeah. She's very nice.
Good. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're still trying to figure out how we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because we didn't actually do any kind of talking or planning beforehand.
I'm ready to follow whenever you need to press play.
I'm so like I had Twitter up. And I'm so bad about that. Okay.
Oh, you're doing your pre-stream stuff. Gotcha.
Saying it's live, even though I don't know. I just try to make a habit out of it, even though it like doesn't. I don't think it really does.
No, I get it. I went through the same fucking struggle. I really did.
Some people do. Some people occasionally see them and like them. So I don't
know. It helps because like once I'm still kind of working on it. Once we've got those habits established, then we can build on those habits when it's less of a struggle. So like now I've got my social media habit going, so now I can like start creating little shorts, little reels, like you're doing. Like you're way ahead of the game
Oh yeah.
as
Well,
far
yeah.
as that's concerned. Like you're way ahead.
I mean, I'm way ahead, but I'm also not because I'm like so inconsistent about it. I have like a backlog of games I want to like do shorts for, and I should have done them this week, but I just like I had like 2 or 3 weeks where like I told you, like I just couldn't get any sleep, and I've just been like in limbo for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I finally this week it's like I finally had a few days of like decent rest, so finally.
And I'm feeling more energized and motivated, so I'm ready to propose like ways that we can motivate each other to be more consistent. And this today is exactly the reason why we're having Blender.
I think I don't know, this is good for me too because it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I like Helldivers, but it's like I want to do this thing, and like I don't know, I feel like I'm getting 2 birds stoned at once.
I'm one of them.
It's like, I don't know.
Oh, on that note, I'm gonna go switch my laundry over. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, okay. Maybe I can actually focus here and actually finish the stupid tweet.
Mute.
I need links. Grab the kick link. Oh, that looks like ass on kick. Oh, I suppose it's, I don't know. It's whatever. Pretty sure it's like 720 or something. I'm a good friend. That's good. Oh my god. You'd think I could just do this and get it done with. Okay. I feel like my brain just like... Sometimes my brain is like, I just want the thing done so much that I just want it to be done, like not actually do... I don't know. It's like I want to hit the finish line without even trying to get there. It's so dumb. It's so contradictory. Need YouTube link? Not even on the right YouTube account? Oh, oh wait, no. And then view your channel. I really had to start getting these done before I even go live. Kick, YouTube. Twitch, that's the last thing. Still gonna take him like another minute before he gets back up here. Okay, I finally did that. Oh my god, why does it take like 8 minutes to do one tweet? Why am I so terrible? I'm surprised he didn't just wait till 6:30 if he was changing over the laundry. Or grabbing it, whichever. I can check levels. I should probably do that. I just realized streams, yeah, you guys are gonna hear the audio. You're not gonna see the video, but you're gonna hear the audio.
Open source 3D.
I haven't even bothered checking audio levels now that I think about it.
Let's begin. First, go to blender.org/download.
Okay, yeah, I don't need that. Don't need interface.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Starters, this view, this.
Okay.
Just elbowed the mic. Now, another 45 minutes, I think, right?
For
the
like what, drying? Drying
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure drying's like at over an hour. Maybe an hour and a half.
Okay, I'll do an hour then. Just for starters.
Yeah, I just know it takes forever. Luckily, our neighbors don't seem to be pretty whatever about the laundry.
Yeah, I was always kind of apprehensive.
I'll be honest,
But,
I've put laundry in there and then like forgot about it for like a day and went back and it was still there. Nobody threw it out. So I think nobody cares. I mean, they have 2 of them, 2 washers and dryers, and I just have a feeling that just people don't. Not a lot of people maybe use them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those
well,
dryers do
also,
suck.
Yeah, I mean, there's what 16 units per building, but like half of them are filled, so 8 units filled, 2 washers and dryers. Yeah, that's like 4 people washing out of
Over
one
the course
washer
of
and
the whole
dryer
week,
at any.
like
Yeah,
any given week. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like realistically, they're probably not even used that often, like relatively speaking. Okay, I think.
Although it's still really I hate that they charge us $2. Oh,
I just think it's,
hey Smokey, thank you for applauding me bitching about my laundry. I appreciate it. Thank you. I am going to be going through a Blender tutorial, or a collection of Blender tutorials, with my roommate, Yuki from the channel Once Dearly Beloved.
I mean, probably not all at once. Probably not gonna.
Yeah, not all of them. We're
Not all
gonna
like.
start going.
Like
through
what?
them. Yeah.
16 of them just to like learn how to make a donut. 14.
No, thank
just
you.
to learn how to make a donut. And they're all like.
It's a lot of donuts, though, right?
They're all at least 18 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah, one of them's like half an hour. The part 13. And that's rendering. Just rendering?
Could not hear you over. Oh yeah, rendering. Yeah.
Is that? What is that? Is it just a half an hour of watching it render, or what? Like,
Mm,
there's probably way more
I
to
love
it.
Squid.
Wait, part 8 also says rendering.
No, there's a lot to go over with rendering.
You render twice?
Shy subkids. That was you. Oh, okay. No, there's just
Yes,
there's a
bullshit.
lot of details when it comes to rendering, especially with different lighting modes.
Okay.
There's a lot to know. And it's been a while since I took classes in college, so I kind of retain a lot of it, but once we got to we spent like 4 weeks, but yeah, that's 4 weeks on an 8-week accelerated class, which is the equivalent of like 8 weeks of a normal semester on rendering.
Oh, right. Yeah, you like did double the work in half the time. Or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Still
guess
graduated with a 3.6 GPA, so go me.
imagine graduating.
Yeah.
Man, if I really hate it.
You were in a really fucked up situation.
Well,
so
I
don't,
just hate how like the education system works in general. Like by the time you get through those 12 grades in grade school, like by the time you go to college, you should just be learning your trade. Like it's a load of crap that like I go in for like game design and I'm like having to take a biology course. Like why? How does this help me learn games?
I understand like the everybody needs a basic education level, and that's what the generals are for.
Like I like
but you get around that with trade school for the most part. You still have to take some generals.
Like I would argue
yeah.
like psychology actually makes sense because just understanding how humans function, and sociology too, like especially interpersonal communication
is critical.
Yeah, especially interpersonal communication, like those things like at least make sense. Like I don't know why anyone going into a technical I don't know why anyone who's not becoming a biologist of some sort needs biology. And then English, like, I don't know. I guess it's more for me personally because there are a lot of people that are in English courses that don't. They just don't know how to.
Here's the thing, though. Like, there's a good chunk of the population who genuinely believes absurd medical things. Like, genuinely do.
Actually, I think it's
pee is stored in the balls.
Sometimes I see some stuff like I just see stuff that's on like Twitter or something, and I'm like, yeah, this is why they still have those courses. This is why they make people just do random stuff. Because
I think that college should be the new basic minimum level of education. No, I'm not joking, Smokey. No way they believe. No, there are people who genuinely believe. And now there's ads.
And just random stuff. Oh yeah. What do you do for ads anyway? You
just keep going. Like you don't focus too much on like a super important thing, but like if they really wanted to know.
Yeah.
But like if there's something critical, you just kind of hold off on it. So like.
Yeah, like I started kind of listening to like VODs of this one streamer, and there were at least like a couple of times where like she just straight up paused conversation for the ads. Just out of courtesy.
Certain
for
conversations.
The people. Just out of courtesy.
Yeah. Especially if like that is the primary topic. Plus, it also gives you a break to just like take a drink.
That's true.
You know, wet your whistle. Like what I'm doing right now, I guess.
God, we went on a whole tangent, which I guess I expected to happen anyway, but I expected it to happen. Well, I guess I'm not really going to go on a tangent when I'm trying to follow a YouTube tutorial, so.
Which, yeah, we should start that tutorial from like file creation, so I know what we're doing.
Well, I was going to start at interface. I mean, unless you need download and installation.
No.
I figured you wouldn't. I figured
interface is good, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I need the refresher anyway.
Ah.
I said that I was gonna like just do this on my own and then come back and do it again. I didn't even get around to it. So
Okay. And yeah, I'm at the same place where you're at anyway. I just
Yeah.
clicked off of that pop-up menu, which is
yeah.
totally unnecessary. If we need to make a new project, we'll make a new project with him.
Oh, I did make a new project. This is a new project. I'm just starting where he did. Okay, we should just do it. 'Cause-
Okay.
Starters, this view, this window right here, is your 3D viewport, and it's where you'll spend probably 90% of your time because it is the 3D world. So you can see that we have 3 objects here. We've got a camera, we've got a cube, and we've got a lamp. And when we click on it, you can see it's selected because it has the yellow outline. So let's delete the default cube, of course, and replace it with something else. So we could do that by going up to the add menu up here, or by remembering the hotkey, which is Shift A. So Shift A for add. So usually the one you're looking for is underneath mesh. So these are called your primitives, and it's what you use to start something when you're looking to make an object. Like if you're going to make a chair, you might start with a cylinder as the chair leg and then build out from there. But the one I'm sure you're all very curious, you want to click it, it's the monkey. So let's just click the monkey. Why does Blender have a monkey? Well, fun fact, every 3D software has its own little random complex object because it's useful to test things like shaders or complexities of scenes. So 3ds Max has the Utah teapot, Houdini has the toy, and I think pig's head. Blender has the monkey, and it's actually called the Suzanne monkey head, which you can see in the top left there, named after the orangutan from the film Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. Random piece of trivia. So let's get a better look at it. And to that we need to orbit, which you can do by on your mouse there, your scroll wheel, that is called your middle mouse button. If you push that in and then drag around, that is now orbiting. Now, for my laptop users, you've just panicked because you realize you don't have a mouse. How are you going to orbit around? First of all, probably a good idea to get a mouse for 3D work. It will come in handy. But in a pinch, you can get by without it just by up here in the top right-hand corner, this little gray circle, anywhere in the gray section. If you just left-click, drag on that, that will do the exact same thing. Or if you want, you can go to Edit Preferences, and then underneath Input, there's Emulate 3-button mouse. And that means that if you hold down Alt and then left-click drag, that will do the exact same thing. Also, whilst you are in user preferences, you might want to go to interface and you've got resolution scale. If you're on a 4K monitor, you might find that your menus and buttons are really small and you kind of have to like squint in to see it. So personally, I like to keep my 4K monitor around about 1.5.
Yep.
Sorry, I have to adjust the volume of my chatter. Chatly. What is this thing called?
Text to speech.
No, it is what I use. Chatty is what it's called. It's what I use to monitor messages that come into my chat. It's just the volume is really, really high, and I have to figure out how to lower that. Because it's killing my ears. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Chat. Buffer. Run. No. Messages. Where was it? Oh, God. Didn't notice the Kim Possible joke. Oh, shit. It was a Kim Possible joke. Monkey Fist will come steal it. You know, I may. Kim Possible is slightly after my time with cable. Like when I turned 18, I left the house and cut myself off from cable entirely. So I kind of missed when Kim Possible. I think it started coming on because on cable because I graduated in 2004. How do I control the sound on this thing? Holy fuck!
Kim Possible was during my time, but yeah, we didn't even pay for Disney Channel. It feels like there's a bunch of shows that like everybody my age like knows about and remembers, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I do know. I do know what they're talking about, but it's like I just never watched it.
Oh, you know what it is? Chatty. I graduated in 04. Yeah, I graduated in 2004. Chatty isn't too loud, and I can't control its volume, apparently.
That's dumb.
Unless I can control it in a different way.
There's got to be like a, even if it's not
Count.
like in a UI, there's got to be like a, there's got to be a way to do that. There's no way they wouldn't just let,
Yeah.
they would just not let you do that.
Options? No. Shit, same. You use OBS. I use Streamlabs, but I use an app called Chatty to play a noise when I get a message in chat. But actually, can you? Maybe I need to do it on my end. But is there
is that
any
what
way
that
that
is?
you can make your player louder?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. I mean, oh, well, actually, I lied. I can't.
Oh.
No, wait, that's also a lie. Actually, I
wait.
lied about the lie
Wait.
because I
I
can
can
do it here.
control it. Never mind.
Oh, you
I
can?
figured it
Okay,
out.
good, because then I would have
Okay.
also had to adjust a bunch of things.
Okay. This, I think, will take care of it. Please go ahead and press play.
Oh, also,
But back
in
it up a
Discord,
little bit.
am I maxed out in Discord? You can adjust the volume of the stream in Discord. That's a thing.
Yes. Yeah, I that's what I needed to do is I adjusted
Okay.
the volume of the
Since this is a
streaming.
tutorial, I'll make it nice and big so you can see what I'm
There
doing.
we go.
Okay, so that's orbiting around with the middle mouse button. If we want to zoom in, we can do that just by scrolling in and out. We could also do it by going up to the magnifying glass tool there, and then just left click dragging and then moving the mouse back and forth. That does the same thing. Or you could hold down control and then middle mouse button, and that will do a smooth zoom as well. Okay, so one thing
You'll notice all of his inputs are in the bottom of the screen too. So then you know exactly what he's doing in that. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh my God, how did he do that? What was that hotkey he just did? Like, it's right
Cool.
there. Yeah, this is a very thorough tutorial. It's great.
you might notice looking at this is that it's not very pretty, right? It's just kind of got this flat, bland, gray lighting over everything. And that's because this state right now is called viewport shading. And it's kind of a lightweight, optimized way to view the scene just as you're building it. But if you want to create a final pretty image, that's called rendering. And you can actually switch into rendered mode by going up here into the top right-hand corner. You can see we're currently in the viewport shading mode. If we go 2 across, you should see rendered view mode. So if we click that, your computer might stall for a quick second whilst it loads it in, but you can see it's now different. We have directional light. We have shadow cast across the monkey. So it's now currently being lit by this lamp up here. So if I wanted to, zoom in on that lamp there and just kind of like move it around, you can see it's kind of hard to focus on. Like it's always exactly not in the right view. And that's because we are centered on our monkey right now. We need to change the focus. We need to pan to something else. So we could do that one of 2 ways. One, if you're on a laptop, you could use the little move tool there. That will do that. Or everyone else, shift middle mouse click, drag, that will do the same thing. So middle mouse is for orbiting, shift middle mouse is for pan to change your view to something else. Okay, so I want to move my light because it's too moody. I want to be able to see the monkey's face there. So to move an object, you could do it one of 2 ways. One, you could go over to the left-hand corner here and you've got the move tool. When you click that, you can see that the selected object, the lamp, has this gizmo, it's called, with these axes on it. And if I just clicked and dragged on any of those arrows there, you can see I can move it along any of those axes. I could also just click on that white circle there, and that will just freehand drag it depending on my view. But it's kind of tedious. Every time you want to move something, you have to like go to that tool and then find the arrows and yada yada. So actually most people in Blender prefer to use the hotkeys. So we just keep it in the default selection state here, and instead remember the hotkey, which is G for grab. Now I've just tapped the key and you'll notice as I move my cursor that it's now attached to my cursor. it's not, my cursor isn't even actually close to it. In fact, my cursor could be
Thank
on
you
the
for the
other side of the
alert.
screen, and I could tap G and it will move it. And at first this is kind of awkward. You're like, why is it working this way? But once you get used to it, you realize it's actually handy because you don't have to spend all this time like navigating your cursor to something just so that you can move it. Your cursor could be over here and then just tap it and you're moving it. So whilst you're in this move state, if you want to cancel a movement, you could do it one of two ways. You could just hit escape, or you could right click. Then if you want to confirm a movement, like say I want to move my lamp here and I like the movement, I could just do a single left click. So again, if I want to cancel something, just right click. If I want to confirm the movement, left click. But let's say I wanted to move it along an axis, like, I like these arrows here and I want to be able to move it on just a specific axis. Well, I can do that whilst I'm in that grab state as well. So after I've hit the G key to grab it, I can then tap the letter of the axis that I want to move it on. So if you don't know, in the real world and in the 3D software, there are 3 axes because there's 3 dimensions. There's the X axis, which I can move it by hitting the X key, the Y axis to move it back and forth along the Y axis with the Y key, or the Z axis to move it up and down on the Z axis. So you can remember those letters, the X, Y, and Z, or the method that I actually prefer to use is whilst you're in that G state, if you just hold down the middle mouse button and then pull out, you can see you get this like gray line that pulls out from the center. And then if you just drag out and move around, it will snap it to the nearest axis, which again is maybe an odd way to work, but it's actually really handy because it means you don't have to think of the letter and locate it on your keyboard. I can just tap G to move it and then middle mouse drag out and then just find that exact axis that I'm looking for. And so it's very fast to just quickly move the lamp exactly where I want it. By the way, if you're finding it hard to remember all of the keyboard shortcuts that I mentioned, I've actually put together a PDF, a cheat sheet of Blender's most common hotkeys, and you can download that by clicking the link in the description, so you could print it out or you could just have it on a separate monitor while you work. Also, if you are from another 3D software package, you might notice that Blender's hotkeys are different than what you are used to. So if you actually go to Preferences, just for those people that are from other softwares, if you change the key map to industry compatible, you'll find that these shortcuts are probably more in line with what you remember from other software. I'll also put a link to a cheat sheet that is just for the industry compatible key maps that somebody else put together. I've got nothing to do with it, but I'll put that link there so you can check it out as well. For the rest of this tutorial series, I'm going to use Blender's hotkeys. Just keep that in mind. Now let's say as I am moving around here, I'm like, oh, this looks really good. I've got some nice.
All right. Key map, blend. Oh, there's Blender. Okay, industry. Okay, I got it. Okay. Please continue. Thank you.
Is that more familiar to you? The industry ones?
No, I was just making sure I could find the all of the menus. I was just lagging behind a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. No, there are gonna be times where I fall behind too.
Rembrandt lighting across the monkey's face. I want to take a photo. I want to take a nice, pretty image of this and post it on socials for clout, right? Well, I could take a screenshot of it, but that would be silly because it's got all these lines all over. It's all noisy, right? We don't like it. The way you take a photo, a pretty image in Blender, is to do a render. So you could do that one of two ways, by going up to render and hitting render image, or remembering the hotkey, which says next to it F12. So when you do that, a little window will pop up. It will use your CPU or GPU, depending on which renderer you've got active, and it will render out a pretty image. And from here, you could go image and then save as, and that'll save it as a PNG or whatever, wherever you want to save it. But you might notice looking at this that this is actually a different view than what we have here, right? So here I've got a nice view of the monkey's face, but there is a different view. And the reason for that is when you do a render, it's not rendering from the view that you're looking at currently. It's always going to render from the point of view of the camera. So this is our camera over here and it's looking from this angle. And we can actually look through the camera by just clicking the little camera icon there, or by remembering the hotkey, which is number pad 0. So how do we move the camera? Well, Blender's a little awkward, maybe a little different to other software packages, but you're supposed to like hit G to move it and then like middle mouse to zoom in and out. And then if you want to like move it along an axis, I guess G and then X. You could do that, but actually what a lot of users prefer, especially those from other software packages, is if you've got your camera selected, which by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but up here, this is your outliner. It's kind of an inventory of every item that you've got in your scene. Okay, so with the camera there selected, if I hit N is to bring up the properties, N for properties for whatever reason. And then go to view. There's a little box there that just says lock to camera to view. So now with that active, if I just use the same keyboard shortcuts as before, middle mouse button to orbit around, shift middle mouse to drag it.
Oh, now I did. Wait, what? Oh, this is the most replayed part too. No wonder. Okay.
Properties for whatever reason. And then go to view. There's a little box there that just says lock to camera to view. So now with that active, if I just use the same keyboard shortcuts as before, middle mouse button to orbit around, shift middle mouse to drag it, you can see that the camera is moving with it. So essentially the view, I can set it up exactly as I want, then hit N again, and then I can disable that. And then now as I pull out, you can see that the camera will stay exactly where it was. And I could do a lovely, pretty render. But this is too simple. If we post this on the internet, people are bound to make fun of us. Imagine that. Well, we could give it some color, right? So with our monkey head selected, we can go over to here to the properties. So this properties section is where you might spend the other, I don't know, another 5 to 8%, I don't know, getting too exact there. You might spend another 5% of your time in this section, but it's where all of the properties for things are in Blender. So for example, you've got like the render properties, like the size of the image that you're saving something as is defined there. And some of these properties will stay here no matter what is selected, but others are selection dependent. So you can see actually, if I click the camera there, you can see I get a little camera tab at the bottom there. But if I select my monkey, you'll see the camera tab disappears, but instead I have some other ones that appear. So one that we might want to change is underneath material, and this will enable us to add a material, change the color to something else, essentially. So underneath here where it's got new, I'm just gonna hit new. Okay. And then you've got a bunch of options, very confusing. Ooh, IOR, subsurface. Again, don't worry about it. We'll get to all of that later on. The one that defines the color is the base color. So if I do a single left click on that white box there, I can then change this color to whatever I want. I could make it an odd, creepy, skin-toned monkey head, right? Like that. And do a render. Okay, so hey, all right, it's better, but still it's too simple. I think people will think we haven't put enough effort into this masterpiece. So let's add another object. Let's give the monkey a hat. So if we want to add another object, how do we do it? Well, we could go to the add menu, like I mentioned before, or the hotkey Shift A. So what sort of hat do we want to add? We could do a boxy hat. Let's do a party hat with a cone. So once we've added that object, you can see it's just plopped it straight in the center, intersecting our monkey. So we need to move it. We can move it, and we could grab it with the G key. So it's now moving it just on our cursor there. I don't want to move it just freehand though, because I like the position, but I just want to move it up. So I'm going to hit Z to move it along the Z axis. Right, I like it there. So once I like the placement, I'm just going to do a single left click. Okay, great. But too big. See, need to learn another tool, which is scale. So we could go to the scale tool there, and then we get this familiar little axes there. But again, most people prefer to remember the hotkey, which for scale is just S. So S to scale. So resizing that, okay, that's pretty good. Let's move it down again, so G and Z. Okay, all right, but yeah, let's say we want to make it a little taller. Okay, so we could scale it along just the Z axis. So S and then Z, whoops, S, Z, there we go. And it's now making it a tall party hat. Scale it down. There we go. Ha, look at that. Be a very bland party if it's gray though. So let's give it another material. An exciting color, a vibrant aqua color. Why not? Give that a render by hitting F12. Okay, camera is in the wrong position. So let's go to camera view mode with number pad 0. I'm going to select my camera, and rather than dabbling with that little thing I had before, I'm going to hit G and then middle mouse, just tap it once. As I said, it's a little awkward. Blender's the way it handles with the camera. But anyway, just move that out, and then I got to rotate it. All right, so I'm going to rotate. So with the camera selected, tap R, then middle mouse, and it's now kind of like freehand rotating around. So I'll just...
Oh, crap, now I got lost again. I know we just did the camera thing, but it's like now it's coming back to it, and it's like...
It's not really working for me.
Yeah, I know, I just forgot. I literally just forgot. I was like, what the heck were the buttons again? Because now
we press 0 on the numpad to get into the camera view, and then to move it... Maybe it's because it's because I'm selecting the cone. I have to select the camera in the scene collection in the top right.
Yeah, I did that.
And then you press G, and then you tap the middle mouse button.
There it is. Okay.
And then you drag from there. And then that's where I'm at.
It was G and then
G. And then tap the middle mouse button.
Middle mouse to zoom. It's zooming when I do that.
Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants you to pull back to zoom out. And then that's where we're at. I think it's a left click from here to confirm the zoom.
G to pan. Did he teach us how to rotate the camera?
Shift to pan, and
no,
just holding middle mouse button to rotate on your selection.
Middle mouse zooms, and I'm talking about when it's in the camera view.
In the camera view, so 0, and then press G, and then what do you need to?
Because when I press G, it pans by default.
Yeah, and then
you middle mouse,
and
then it zooms in.
Zoom in.
What about rotating?
And then you. That was okay. So good.
That's what I'm wondering. Because I feel like I don't think he taught us how to rotate.
Yeah, he did. It's on the right. Where was it? Toggle the camera view. No, toggle the camera view. Object. We saw it on the right. There's a okay, so you have to bring up a menu. I forget the hotkey to bring up the menu, but there's a caret in the upper right of your viewport underneath where it says options, where the options drop down is. Let me try and bring up your stream.
My stream is the
okay,
video.
So you see where the X, Y, and Z is?
I wonder if I could... Can I stream both things at the same time? Can I stream two different windows?
I've got you. Yeah, you're streaming your Blender view. I can see that on your...
I am?
Yeah.
Oh, well then it's not doing what I wanted, but okay, sure. Whatever
I
works.
can see what you are doing in Blender on your stream.
Well, I guess that's convenient for this.
Okay, so you see the green, blue, and red X, Z, and Y.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose you could just do that. Yeah, that's true.
No, wait. You see where it says options?
Oh.
Now, do you see the caret that's pointing to the left? It's not in options.
Yeah, I clicked that. Oh, you mean this?
No. It's between options and X. That's it right there. Yeah. That's it. Okay. So it would be, you see where it says view lock? And there's two check
yeah,
boxes.
that's right. That's what that was. Oh my God, yeah.
It's the bottom one where it's camera to
right
dot,
here.
dot, dot.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
the one you want.
Yeah. I followed that to the T in the moment, and then it's like, then I had to recall it, and it's like, wait, what? That's probably going to happen a lot.
It's okay. And then from here...
I gotta remember to close this. It's N, isn't
Here
it? Oh, you just hit N. That's right. The N was the hotkey. So, like, you can just hit N and it opens that up and closes it.
Yeah, and then once you are in camera to view port, then you can use the middle mouse button to rotate the camera view. So, kind of a clunky way of doing it, but that's how it's done. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I mean, once you have it memorized, it's not a big deal. But
yeah,
it's a learning curve.
All right, and then I've got that done. So once the positioning is done, you uncheck camera to view. All right,
yeah.
So
right.
we're figuring it out.
Yep. Two brain cells in sync. Yeah.
Yes.
all two of them.
I think they call that a flock.
A flock of brain cells. Oh, I just realized that looks kind of weird now on my stream. I'm trying to figure out exactly how much stuff I want doing what, or I'm using a 1080 screen to blend. I think this probably not.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, it works. It's just I've got to really figure out exactly how much real estate to use for what. And then I realized when I moved it, then the now playing thing was kind of in the way of the menus.
Oh no, I think it's fine. Your subject is in the very middle of the screen, so
yeah. Well, no, I mean it's fine now. It was like blocking the menu at one point. Not that people need to see the menu, but it just looks a little bit cleaner if it's in the bottom right of the viewfinder.
Very good, very good.
I could also set it so that it only comes on when a new song plays and then it disappears after 5 seconds. I'm still considering that. I don't know. It's a pretty nice widget, but it's just you need Spotify or YouTube Music for it to work.
Oh yeah, I have YouTube Premium. I don't think I have YouTube Music.
If you have Premium, you have music.
Oh well, then shit, I should use it.
Well, I should send you that video that I was talking about then, because
okay, yeah,
it's easy to set up.
Sweet, yeah. I like that. I like easy.
It's surprisingly idiot proof too. Like, I don't really know what could go wrong following the video in question.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Move it up slightly. There we go. Okay. This is just a fool around session, so don't worry if you're making mistakes. We'll get to actual practical building stuff in the next part.
Wait, how could you see what I was doing but also watch the video at the same time?
You are casting what you are doing in Blender on your computer to your stream on Twitch.
Oh my God, you're watching my Twitch stream. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
Oh,
on
wow.
Discord, I've got what you're watching. Yeah. No, wow. I got you.
Oh my God, how freaking dumb am I?
I'm just trying to find ways to throw in these like fundamental tools. Rotate, right? The monkey's head is he needs to look dead on at the camera, and currently he's off. What an excuse to use the rotate tool. So you could enable the rotate tool, right? The familiar axes there. You could click and rotate it around like that. Again, most people prefer to remember the hotkey, which is R to rotate, right? So it's now just freehand rotating on my cursor. Remember the axes, as I mentioned before, can be used for any mode. So the X axis will rotate it back and forth. The Y axis, tilt it, or Z, there we go, to turn it towards the camera. Just a little bit, right? And there you go, F12. And we've done it. Let's save it. Let's upload it to ArtStation and then just wait for the recruiters, essentially. All right, let's start a new scene so that we can get ready for part 2, where we're gonna actually start building our donut and learning some of the more core features of Blender. So click here and I will see you in part 2.
Should just go to it. It's a playlist.
Now we know how Blender functions. Let's start building that
we don't
donut.
need Suzanne anymore.
So, as before, let's, well, first of all, just to repeat, make sure you are working with a new scene. completely new scene. Don't want any remaining monkey heads lying around.
No
Let's
monkey
begin
heads.
fresh slate.
You just click
and
the
let's
delete button
our
after you
default
highlight
cube
it.
just with the delete key.
Oh,
And let's replace it with a new object. You might remember the hotkey for that is Shift A. And as I mentioned before, you usually want what is underneath mesh because these are your primitives. So we want to start with something that most resembles what it is we're building. If it was a house, you might start with a cube. If it was a vase, you might start with a cylinder. In
I
our
wonder
case,
which one we're gonna pick.
we want the donut-shaped one.
The
Although
butthole.
mathematicians call it a torus for some reason. So let's add that. Now, if I zoom in by scrolling up, we can see we have something resembling a donut. Looks like a pretty weak looking donut, very flimsy. Looks like the donut
Pre-baked.
before it's cooked when they just drop it into the vat and it's just this little wispy thing.
Pre-fried
So
donut.
immediately after you do some actions in Blender, you have options to change it. And the options are hidden down here in the bottom left-hand corner. You see a little box. And if you click that box, you see options. And look, we can change the dimensions of our torus. Now, something to note is that these options in Blender only appear immediately after you have done that action. If you do another action, like say deselect your torus by mistake, it's gone, right? Because Blender has assumed you have moved on. You've accepted the state of your donut, and this is the one you want, right? Now, if you haven't done anything drastic or changed this object in some severe way, you can temporarily bring it back by hitting F9. I never actually remember that hotkey. I just remember that immediately
I'm definitely
after
gonna
I
remember that
have
hotkey.
added an object, if I want to tweak it, now's my chance before I move on to something else. Okay.
That's to add
So
a
we could
torus.
change, the size of it here. We can also change the resolution. I'll use the term resolution loosely. To make it higher or lower fidelity. And a mistake that a lot of beginners make, and I say this because this was the exact mistake I made way back in 2003 when I started learning Blender, is they go, well, I need a realistic looking donut, so I guess I need to go really high resolution. I remember my first project, one of my first projects was for a high school film project, and I wanted to have a close-up of a face. Didn't realize faces were going to be difficult, but I went really high poly, and then it was just an absolute nightmare to work with. So the problem, the reason you don't want this is that for starters, things that are high poly are very slow to render, and they're very hard to work with if you want to tweak the shape of it. But also, as you learn and you grow with 3D, you'll discover that it is a lot easier to add resolution to something later on, but it is very difficult to take it away if you've already built it into it and you don't need it. So, long way to say, what we actually want is to have as few polys, these are called polys, as you can get away with. So I'm going to go with 32 major and 12 minor. And don't worry that it looks all jagged because we will fix that in a moment. Now, the major and minor, this is really up to you, but I find that something that looks kind of chunky, like a fat donut, just looks really delicious. So I'm going with something around about this size. Okay. And once I'm happy with this, once I'm ready to click off, I click off, the options are gone, this is it. This is the donut that I am now working with.
Click to
So how
select
do we make this
and then
look
F9.
higher resolution, less jagged? Well, one way is to use smooth shading. So if you right click with your object selected, go to Shade Smooth. And look at that, this is immediately better. Without getting too technical, this is kind of a fakery. It's sort of like the shader is telling the renderer that this is a really high poly dense mesh when it really isn't. It's just basically kind of like averaging out faces, and anyway, it's very technical, but basically means it's not going to add anything to your render time, but it's going to look smoother. And so this is generally what you want for something that is smooth and organic looking like we want. If you were rendering like architectural or like hard surfaces, like later on we're going to put this on a counter, then the object would obviously want to be flat. But in our case, we're just going to use Shade Smooth. But you might notice that looking at this, especially if you go side on, that you've got this sort of jagged shape around here, right? So the silhouette is really breaking that illusion that this is a high poly or a smooth looking donut. But thankfully, rather than adding all of that complex density into the mesh itself and then making it hard to remove later on, there is another way through modifiers. So if we go over here to our properties, right, this very confusing, lots of option looking properties, click on the wrench, and this is the section called modifiers. And this is one of those object-dependent things. So if you've got your camera selected, you won't see it. So it's only when you've got actual meshes that you might see this modifier.
I really like the
so
new
it's much easier
interface.
to explain if we just add one. So up here, add modifier, and you got a range of options here that can do a whole number of things. The one that we're looking for is underneath generate, and it is called subdivision surface. And it is a really common modifier that you use all the time.
Yep.
In fact, it's so common, it's actually, you can just immediately add it to any object just by hitting Control 1. But don't do that because we've already got it. So there. Now, some of you might have just discovered that your donut has disappeared. If that is the case, you need to go to Edit, Preferences, and then underneath Viewport, where it's got Subdivision at the very bottom, Disable GPU Subdivision. That will then make the subdivision perform on your CPU instead of your GPU, which is maybe non-existent or not performing whatever. But disable that and it should appear. But if it's already working for you, don't disable it. Keep it going because GPU will be faster. So
Cool.
What exactly is this doing? Well, it's a lot easier to explain if we look at the shade flat mode because we're not being tricked by the smooth shading there. If I set this levels viewport to 0, this is our original mesh. This is before we add the subsurface, essentially. When we increase this, you can see that it is adding resolution to our mesh. And the more I increase this viewport levels here, the finer and finer that detail becomes. So to explain it, because this is such a very, very common modifier, it's kind of important to understand how it's working. You can see that this is these squares here. These are called faces, by the way. And for each one of these faces here, as I add a level, you can see it's becoming 4 faces, right? And then now if I zoomed in on this one face here, if I do another level, that's now become 4 faces. And then if I zoom in again, it's now become 4 faces. So it's exponentially adding detail. And you might also know that it is smoothing it out as well. Like this jagged edge that we've got here, you can see now becomes smoother. So to quickly visualize that, if I just draw it, like imagine you've got like a 90-degree corner, right? Like this. If you add a subsurf modifier, what it's going to do is it's going to add a point here, right? Because this is the extra detail. It's also going to take that point there and it's going to average it out. It's going to average it out between these points. And it's going to create another one there and another one there. So you go then from having that really hard corner there to having something that looks a lot smoother. So it's going to take a point and it's also going to change it to make it look smoother, generally speaking. So there we go. So now as I increase this, you can see it's getting smoother and smoother. Now, the reason there are 2 options here, you've got levels viewport and levels render. So reminder, this gray area that we operate in is called our viewport. The render is the pretty version. So as an example, you can see if I just turned it off for the viewport, it looks very jagged. But then for my render, if I increase that to 3, if I do my render, which you could go up there and render image, or remember the hotkey F12, you can see that that donut is now smooth, but I go back and you can see it's jagged. So the viewport, you want to generally keep it lightweight, and then the render time, that's where you want to get a really nice looking pretty image. So you want to often have 2 different levels. In our case though, I don't really think we need to go beyond 1, even for our final pretty image, because this with shade smoothing turned on is good enough. And we're going to be adding more to the scene later on, so we don't want to make it too complex. So this is actually pretty good. Okay, so we have a perfect donut, and that's the problem. It's too perfect. You could spend decades trying to develop a machine in the real world that made a donut this perfect, and you never would. This is so mathematically precise that the eye will always see this as looking fake. So that's actually a problem you learn pretty quickly in 3D, that things that are too perfect just look fake. So you have to spend time making things look misshapen and adding variation there like you see in the real world because your eye expects to see it. So how do we do that? How do we make this donut look a little more lumpy and interesting? I do that by changing the mesh itself. So this mode that we are in right now, where we can, click on different objects, is called object mode. And I know that because in the top left-hand corner, you can see we are in object mode. But if I click the drop down, you can see I get a number of other options here. And these options, again, will change depending on the object you've got selected. If I've got a lamp, my little light there selected, you can see I've only got object mode. My camera, I've only got object mode. But a mesh will give you extra options here. So let's enter into edit mode. Ooh. Right, now you can see our mesh, our object has become something that looks weird. It's got a bunch of little points on it with lines and very technical. Well, that's because this is actually what the mesh is made up of. These little points here, which you can click on just by selecting, are called your vertices. The singular term is called vertex. I never say that. I like to just call all of them vertices, regardless of whether it's one or two.
How
just because
dare you
always get some comments that go,
You
actually,
fucking-
it's called
no,
vertex if it
no.
is singular. Anyway,
Don't get
so
bullied
these are
into being
called your
wrong.
vertices, and if you have two of them
Little
joined
bitch.
by a line,
Nah.
that is called an edge. And if you have four of them forming a face, then it's called a face. So with
face?
these,
Well,
I
three.
can quickly change the
Three
shape
would
of my
work too.
object by using the same
makes sense.
hotkeys as before. And if I want to move this, then I would simply tap G, right? And you can see it's now attached to my cursor. And then if I want to confirm its movement, I just do a single left click, and there it is. Now, if I go back into object mode, like that, you can see that my mesh has changed.
Shouldn't have done that.
And by the way, the hotkey for jumping in and out of object and edit mode is just tab. Okay, so you can see it's just toggling between those two modes because it's so common that you want to just quickly change things that it's just easily accessible by that. Now, this is okay, right? But you can see it's got like some artifacting. It's not the greatest lump, right? So how do we make it look a little more natural? Well, I mean, you could, you move one, drag it out, okay, click, and then I move, the next one next to it, right? I'll move that out, and then I'll move this one out a little bit, and then I move this one out. And it's like, okay, well now I've got the thing, but it took me like 5 actions. Ridiculous, right? No one wants to do that. No one's got time for that. Thankfully, there is a tool in Blender just for this, and it's called proportional editing, and you can enable it up there in your toolbar. So if you enable that, now if I hit G and I move it out, you will see I get a little ring around my cursor.
It's in the
Oh, I see it.
Yep.
Proportional editing. Okay. So, and then I
And then you-
select.
and then you just do the G move thing, except not the whole object like I just did.
Oh, right, just on the vertex. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, and it deforms the. Oh, that's really nice. Oh,
How's that for a
man.
bump?
How's that? How you like these bumps? Yeah. Oh.
Can go inward too, like way beyond what makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Make it look angry.
to there, and that is now changing the mesh around it. Now, a lot of people in my previous tutorials were like, I don't see what's going on. You have to have something selected first, and then when you hit G, you will see that little circle of influence. Okay, now this circle of influence, if I scroll up, you can see it's shrinking its circle of influence. And if I scroll down, it is expanding its influence. So it's only going to affect what is in that ring there, okay? If you are on, if you don't have a mouse with a scroll wheel, you can also change the influence by using page up and page down. And if you don't have page up or page down because you're on a Mac keyboard, then what you would have to do is go to key map and
shoot yourself. No, I'm kidding.
actually, I think it's sinking in that for whatever reason did not work for me. I don't know why. Like,
Oh, what part didn't work?
I clicked on proportional editing. Oh, there's a shortcut too. It's O. But anyway, well, yeah, and then I go into edit mode, right? You go into edit mode, and then you just click the vertex again.
Yep.
You click the
then you-
vertices again,
And then you have to go
and then you
into.
hit G, and then
Not yet. You have to go into positional.
positional.
Yeah. I don't. It's next to the magnet icon in your menu at the top of the window. There's like a magnet icon.
There's a magnet right
yeah,
here.
that's it. Yeah, that's positional. And then you select a vertex.
Transform divot point?
Wait, hold on. Oh, you're in object mode. You have to be in edit mode. I'm so sorry.
I do that and then it changes. Then where's the magnet? Oh, is it like way the frick over? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's
totally.
the problem because
Ah.
I guess you have to be in edit mode and then do it. I thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can like
okay.
you can
okay.
control Z, or you
Right.
can,
right.
there's
Undo.
even stepping. Hold on, let me look it up.
Can
Undo
undo
history.
Yep. Okay, there we go. No, I got it. So edit mode, and now it's set to that,
and then you go to edit mode, and then you can.
Yep.
Oh,
okay, there we go. It's
that
doing it
vertex
now.
is still sticking out way.
It is, but you know what? I'm whatever. As long as I know what's up.
Are you now? Now you select the vertex, and then you press G.
Oh, I middle clicked because I keep wanting to like actually rotate the camera as I'm like messing with it, and it does not like that.
Oh no, it does not. I just want to make sure you're getting that gray ring.
Yep. Right?
Yep, there's the gray ring, and then now you can mouse wheel up and down while that ring is showing.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
The sphere of influence, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Just like in sociology, the sphere of control and influence.
Yep.
It's really obscure.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, hold on, let me scratch my head. Hold on.
I mean, it's not obscure if you took sociology, but...
Oh.
Okay, anyway. Could probably click it again.
I said head, I meant ear. I'm not sure why I said head. But yeah, go ahead and press play. I'm ready.
Oh my god, you know what? Wait, can you... No, what is... Oh no, it's scrolling it. Okay, it's scrolling. I thought I was like zooming this in and out so that I can like make it all fit, but no, you gotta scroll it. That's okay. As long as I know that's a thing.
Ah.
I now know. That's why I couldn't find it before. Because I was like, well, it's changing the whole UI. Like, now I can't... No, it's not there anymore. It was there. It's just my screen's too small.
Change your page up and page down to something else just so that you could get around that. But guys, you got to get a mouse. Get a mouse with a scroll wheel. I think they're, I don't know, 50 cents or just in the nearest landfill somewhere. Get a mouse because it's going to make your life in 3D a lot easier. Okay, so with this, I can now make quick work of lumpy shapes, okay? So I just drag that out. Okay, I've got a little lumpy shape there. Maybe I go down here and I pull this up just by hitting G, moving it up. Okay, so already this is looking a little more natural, right? Because even if we were making a stylized world for a Pixar movie or something like that, you can't have just a spherical looking donut, round looking circular donut, because it just, your eye will see it as fake. So very quickly, I'm able to add a little bit of variation to the donut, just all around it, just a little bit over here. And you can see that I am just changing my circle of influence depending on what size of a lump I want to make. So I just want to make like a little bit that sticks out. I can make a small circle just by scrolling up like that. And you just want to do that until you get something that looks a little more natural. I might want to make the inner part as well. We just drag that in with a smaller circle, and that's pretty good. Let's just have a look from the top. I might actually just drag that out and make it a little bit more like that. But there you go. That's pretty good for a donut. It's still kind of simple. It's not too detailed, but it's got just enough variation in it that it's more interesting to look at. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Go back into edit mode with tab. Donuts, when they're sitting in the little vat thing, right? They're only like half submerged, so then they have to be flipped. But it means that the bit that's nearest to the surface is getting less heat. So essentially what I'm saying is the bit that's around the donut, the circumference of it is usually a little bit flatter. So donuts aren't like perfectly round all the way around. They're usually a little bit flatter. So what I want to do is I want to select these vertices along here and then I want to shrink them. Now I could go around one by one like this, which is actually what I used to do when I was learning Blender pre-YouTube days and there was no tutorials. I would do this if I wanted to select this. Silly, because there's a function, a tool for that, and it is edge select. So if you hold down Alt on your keyboard and then do a single left click on not the points, but on the edge, right, this little line here, you can see it's selected all the way around. So it's anything that's connected along that line is now selected. So if I want to shrink this, right, what would I do? Well, I mean, yeah, you could like move it around, right? We want to shrink it. We want to change the scale of it. So we would use the hotkey S for scale. So S, and I'm...
You know what I just realized? On the bottom of Blender, it's showing like all of like what the mouse is going to do. Like the like, you know what I mean? The default is select, rotate, view, call menu on the bottom. And then you hold Alt and then it changes. And now it says rotate view.
Oh yeah, it gives you some extra tools. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, oh, that's actually really nice. It's like I don't know. It's like in a video game where it's just constantly there to remind you what a button does.
Yeah, exactly.
In the UI. Yep.
Yeah.
Except for some reason I tried clicking on the. You said Alt, right? Or did he say Control? I spaced out.
So
I guess.
in edit
Well, I don't think
mode-
I did. I swear you said Alt.
Let me pull
now
where
selected. So if I want to
I'll go ahead and
shrink,
pause this shit. Yeah. Okay. So,
To do the edge
Alt,
thing.
Alt click and you click the edge, not the vertice.
Alt click.
Alt click the edge,
Well,
not
see,
the vertice.
It just is rotate view. Torus is selected. I'm in edit mode.
You've got one vertice selected. Now hold Alt and select the line leading out of the vertice.
Okay, look at my.
Yep.
In my stream, look at the bottom. What I was just talking about with it. Look, this is what happens when I hold Alt. It says rotate view, center view to mouse, and then right click does nothing. It's not doing what he said. It's not doing what it did for you either.
Okay, so go to File. Where's it? Edit. Preferences. Edit Preferences.
I have not touched. Like, I know what you're talking about. Well, we can look anyway, but I have not touched those hotkeys.
Go to
It's under input,
key
right?
map.
No? Key map?
Well, not input, key map. I do not
Key.
see what yours is. And then
It says
the
Blender.
top center Blender.
Oh, wait. Oh, you can't see because it's a different window. It
Oh.
says, yeah, I went to key map and it says Blender. It's set to Blender, not industry compatible or Blender 27X. It's just Blender.
Okay, select out of Blender and then select back into Blender just to make sure. Oh,
That's fair. Oh. Okay.
um,
I did that. Okay. It's done. And so then
yeah, I can't
clicking-
see what your
Yeah, that's
settings are
fine.
at though.
that's fine. Yeah,
Now
I
let's
don't
see.
know. I
Windows
don't know why it's
screen,
doing that.
view 2D buttons list, 3D view. No, it would be the
I'm just-
edit, vertice, object mode.
Do it for me, please.
What am I doing wrong?
Oh man,
What the hell did I break?
I do not know. I think this is going to require me doing a search. Let's go to break. I'm going to collect my dryer load.
Okay.
You can take a break and then we'll do some troubleshooting when I get back.
Okay. We'll just do it.
All right.
I'll just go BRB.
Little BRB, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. All right. Thanks.
Yep.
My views and my lurkies. I get stressful. Cheers. Thank you, Smokey. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Welcome back. I just realized I was in render view this whole time. Not that that changes anything, but instead of viewport shading, I've been in rendered the whole time instead of solid. I mean, my computer was running fine, so I guess it didn't really matter, but yeah, the more you add, the worse it's gonna get. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to look for. Well, I don't know. I guess what I mean is I don't actually know how to like fit that into like a Google search prompt. Oh shoot! There we go. Okay. Yeah, we're back. I still don't know what I did to screw this up.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Can't set Alt left click to both rotate viewport and keep loop select. Okay. But how do you set that? Alt click rotate view. That's what I'm looking for. Edit mode. I don't know what preferences he's talking about though. I'm going to get it soon though. Hit the period on your numpad.
Oh, you know
Does
what?
that
It zoomed it in.
zoomed it in? Wait.
It didn't change the... It is quite possible that I accidentally hit a button and that I don't even realize I hit. I mean, that had to be what I did.
Is it working now?
Nope. I hit period and it just zooms in on that vertex. And I don't know why.
Hold on.
Hold up, maybe hitting period without actually being like in an object? No? Oh my, nope. Man.
Where would that be?
Oh, I double clicked and then it did it. I double clicked the vertex and it, I mean, if we get there, we get there, right? Like, who really cares if it's... Although it does this, I guess it does set the precedent for all of his other, you know, little tips might not work for me because I totally changed something up.
Huh. Yeah, we should really keep the same control scheme because it could be wildly different for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I
suppose we probably should still trying to figure out what happened. Otherwise, we can go through the list. We can compare your preferences to mine.
We could do that. Key map. Yeah, okay, so it would be window? Man.
Preferences, yeah, key map. And then just name, right? Oh, actually, oh yeah, I guess it doesn't matter if it says I guess it doesn't matter because it's the same menu either way. I don't know what they mean by that then.
Oh, because you expand the windows below. Right?
Oh.
No, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know what they mean by that.
Different key sets because you can import and export. Actually.
Yeah.
Well, shit, I can export my keybind. I'll export it and send it to you.
I suppose that makes sense. Except, oh, you'll have to, I guess,
I can do that.
Send it to me in Discord or something.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's the chat? I never know. Oh, here it is.
I should download his keyboard shortcut too while I'm at it. What's a Google Doc? That actually sounds like more effort. Not really. Oh,
This is
it's
it.
really more effort. And then,
That is the configuration file. You should be able to download that and import it directly out of your downloads folder. Fuck, why didn't I think of that? I did think of that eventually. See, this is why we take breaks.
yeah. Well, yeah, because you get like stuck in the moment. You're like deer in the headlights. That's
Yeah.
me. I mean, honestly, I'm not. I mean, no. I do apologize for anyone watching, but I feel like there's, I don't know. I just have to throw away. I have to throw out any pressure to like keep things entertaining. It's just, it is what it is. We're like trying to
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, we've got two people talking, back and forth. That's engaging enough. It
Yeah.
really is. You don't need to worry.
So
Let's see,
anyway,
I should
okay.
probably. You've got. I'm not actually watching.
Just send it
your
to me in
stream, though.
Discord.
Yeah, I posted it in the Discord chat.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah. Yeah, not directly to you in the chat. Sorry, did not make that clear.
Wait, where is? Oh, that's right. I forgot that there are chats to like actual streams.
Yup.
And then download blender.py. Where is it now? Okay. Okay, well, I'm assuming I did it. It didn't give me a confirmation prompt. It just apparently did it. I don't know. Screw it. Let's just hit Alt.
Yeah, that's all it would be. Yeah, is it working properly now?
It's
So if
definitely
you-
doing something different. I hit Alt and there's just
All right,
nothing.
select a single vertice.
So when I hit Alt, nothing happened. It just took away all ability to do anything.
You're just supposed to hold Alt.
No, straight up.
Oh, you've got a whole list. Just select one vertice.
Yeah, that's from before.
Yeah, just select the one vertice.
I have lost all ability to interact with this project.
What?
What the hell happened? Like, look in the bottom. You see how it just left, middle, and right clicks are just all nothing now?
Can you hold the middle mouse button and drag around? Like, is the viewport responding at all?
No, nothing is responding. I straight up have lost all input.
Oh, I think the application crashed.
Well,
Can you
everything's
save?
working. It's just,
Yeah.
I think the import fucked it up.
How is that even possible, though?
I don't know.
Well, you could try to revert back to the original Blender.
Yeah.
So
We should have changed the name on that. I don't even know which one's which now.
Preferences, Blender. Oh,
Then I gotta figure out which Blender is Blender.
yeah, that's my bad. Did it really save us that? Seriously? Oh my god.
I just Control Z a bunch of times and just... I feel like if I Control Z enough, I'll eventually hit a point where it's not doing that anymore.
Go to the undo history.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a whole history.
Yeah, so just get... Let's see.
I'm
that's a
looking for
lot of-
something. I'm looking for something that kind of sounds like... I don't think so.
Well, that's all the undo history you have.
Well, I just undid a bunch of stuff, so it's less than it was. Here, I'm just gonna see what happens now if I rotate. It still says rotate view. What the hell? This is such a dumb thing to get hung up on.
Okay. So, what does it say when you have Alt selected? Rotate view still? Really?
Yeah,
Try the other Blender file. The other...
yeah. Wait, what did that say?
The other control.
Undocumented operate. Oh, no. Yeah, it just straight up has no input at all. It's, I don't know, it's a botched file. I don't know. It's like the import
The
didn't
fuck?
work.
It must not have.
I'm scared to delete now because I don't know which. Okay, bam. Click on the top one. Yeah, that didn't work.
Okay. Well, there's got to be a setting, and I'll continue my research.
There's got to be like a button I accidentally hit that just changed. Yeah, it just changed stuff. Or. Oh my god, like I'm trying to figure out what the heck. What dumb little thing did I click on?
Oh god, I hate it when you look up an answer and the answer is like, well, this is how it's supposed to work. Like, no shit. It's not working that way.
Yeah.
Well, here's the Blender manual. Yeah. Select loop, loop edge, shortcut, Alt, left mouse button, Shift Alt. Try Shift Alt.
Pan view.
Pan view. What the fuck? Try Shift.
You better wait here. I'll be back in.
No, nothing with Shift. Control, Alt. Oh, I'm not even in my own app. Shift, pan view, control, zoom. Okay. Yeah, so... Wait. Pan, rotate, center, control, control, shift, and alt. Shift, alt. Hey, try shift, alt.
Yeah, that's what you said before.
Oh, that's what I said. Okay. Control, shift, try combinations of the two. Select, rotate.
It's definitely
select,
doing things.
Pick shortest. Wait. Extrude. Man, what the fuck?
Yeah, all these are just, they're based around moving the camera.
Well, in edit mode. Why is it doing that in edit mode? relevant. Do you still have proportional editing enabled?
Yeah. And I wondered
Okay.
about that.
That's what I've got editing, or that's what I've got enabled too.
Yeah, I had a feeling that probably wasn't relevant. Like, I don't even think
Oh,
retracing.
let's try this. Okay, in the very top left corner of your menu, right next to where it says Edit View, you should see 3 icons.
Editor type?
One is blue.
Oh.
It's
is
highlighting.
Select mode?
Yeah, change to Edge Select. And then select a relevant edge.
That doesn't solve the problem. It just changes how it clicks on things. Which is good to know. And then this
Is
one
it
way
still
it picks
giving
a
you
whole
the-
face, probably. I mean, that's
Oh,
actually,
face, yeah.
that's a good thing to know,
But
but
for edge mode, are you still getting the same tool issue?
I am.
It's gotta be your control scheme.
Yeah, I have to have somehow just changed something, and I don't know how. I just...
Let's see if I can find a way to reset the control scheme.
Like, I don't even think restart. I think I literally have to figure out what the heck I changed. Like, I doubt starting the project over would even do anything, to be honest.
I don't think it's project related, yeah. Okay, I think I've load factory settings without closing current file. Perfect. Okay.
We should, you know what? Let's just no importing, exporting. Let's just compare our bindings or whatever.
Real quick though, go to File,
Oh, sure. File.
and then there's, where is it? Defaults. I don't see a defaults at the bottom.
Oh, load factory settings.
Yeah, load factory settings. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That.
Try that.
Well, that restarted the project, but center view to mouse. Oh, edit mode.
Then in the bottom left of preferences window, select the hamburger menu. And
Okay,
load
well,
factory.
that did fix the controls.
Oh, sweet.
Except I have to start the project over.
I can save my project and send it to you.
Oh, that's fair. Sure, we'll just do that.
Save. Might as well, right? Donut.
I'm still wondering what the hell I did. I had to have accidentally hit a hotkey somewhere. But why would you have a hotkey that just changes the control scheme? That just sounds dumb.
I think that the configuration file got fucked up for you.
Maybe it did. Maybe it was just some weird fluke.
Because it fixed it, yeah, after we reloaded the factory settings. Now let's see. Let me try and find where this is. Documents. Shit. Oh, wait. Documents. There it is. I'll just copy it. All right. Then I'll send it via the chat again, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
Seems consistent. I hope it sends. Hey, it sent.
You ever wonder why donut has like two different ways to spell it? One of them has to be like just like a colloquialism, and the other one has to be the correct way to spell it.
Well, I know that a lot of American words have shorter spellings because newspaper companies wanted to save money on ink.
Oh,
Like-
that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like aluminum is a derivative of aluminium. Mhm.
Yep. Actually-
Donut is a derivative of donut.
That makes sense. I totally just thought that it was America just wanting to be different after, you know, they seceded from the British or whatever.
Oh, it was not an attitude thing at all.
I
It's
totally.
always capitalism. It all comes back to capitalism.
Well, I mean, that's more.
and it's easy to get me started.
That's honestly just more realistic. Like, that's actually kind of fair compared to. We got to be different, you know. All right.
Alien space lay is just the real reason.
Yep. Can I just drag and drop? Can I just do that? Please? Open. Oh my god, you can do that. Hell yeah. I just totally dragged and dropped it onto Blender. And it was like, oh, you want to open that? Sure.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh my god, you totally mangled this thing.
Yep.
Dude, if I got a donut like that... Okay, actually, if I got a donut like that, I'd eat it. But I'd be like, what the hell? What did you do?
It looks good. It looks like you took some dough and you threw it in some fucking oil with a bunch of other fucking donuts.
Emphasis on the throwing part.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in edge mode, by the way. You may want to return to vertex mode.
Okay.
Also, all your shit fits in your window better.
I suppose it does, yeah. Well, I mean... No, actually it does. Did you like adjust the scaling?
I may have forever ago.
You must have.
I think your install just got fucked. I don't know why. Cause like
I just
your
assumed...
menu items are just like sliding off the window. Is weird.
Well, I started it on the 1440p monitor, and then I dragged it down to the 1080p, and I just assumed that was what happened. And I just didn't bother to trying to fix it.
That makes sense. All right. Well, I'm ready to continue if you are.
Yeah.
See, it's selected all the way around. So it's anything that's connected along that line is now selected. So if I want to shrink this, right? What would I do? Well, I mean, yeah, you could like move it around, right? We want to shrink it. We want to change the scale of it. So we would use the hotkey S for scale. So S, and I'm going to scale that in. And I actually don't want proportional editing. So I'm going to turn that off and now scale in and just make it a little bit flatter. And there you go. See, it just feels a little bit more natural, doesn't it? Looks a little bit closer to what a donut looks like.
Actually, hold up. You said you did it, but it doesn't look like it's done.
It was very slight.
Oh, maybe it is done.
But we would use...
I gotta watch what he did anyway.
Use the hotkey S for scale. So S, and I'm going to scale that in. And I actually don't want proportional editing. So I'm going to turn that off and now scale in and just make it a little bit flatter. And there you go. See, it just feels a little bit more natural, doesn't it? Looks a little bit closer to what a donut looks like. And by the way, don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like this, like your lump is a little bit off. Like some people get a little bit too precious with the tutorial. Like, I gotta match exactly everything I do. Like I'm just working on the fly as well. So just make what you think looks good. Maybe you think this is not misshapen enough and you want to add more, go for it, because it might actually turn out better than what mine is. Now, before we move to the next part, how to save. How to save. Blender, very, very easy. You just go save as, and you just get one file. It's called .blend. Very literal file extension, really pushing the limits of what a file extension can be. That's almost a word, Blender. Anyway, .blend, and that's it. And then next time you open it up, it's exactly like it. It's not like ZBrush where you got like 4 or 5 different ways to save a project or an object or a tool or a... Hate ZBrush. Okay. That's how you save. Now, also, finally, I would say, if you need help, because I know if you're stuck and then you leave a YouTube comment, you might not get a reply. If you want immediate help, I've got a Discord. So I'll put the link below. So there's like a little channel in there where you can just ask for specific donut help. So if you're having issues, feel free to jump into that. And also, guys, don't beat yourself up. Like 3D is definitely has like a steep-ish learning curve. So you're in that steep slope right now. And it's really common. Like a lot of this stuff is very foreign. 3D is very unique. It's very different to a lot of 2D tools. But don't give up. Like it's definitely achievable to learn and self-learn at home. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to pay for a tutor. It's really easy to get help online nowadays. So do make use of that Discord. Post comments as well in the YouTube comments if you want to. But I hope you stay with it. So if you're ready to jump to the next part after you've saved your blend file.
This is still like wild to me how like when I graduated and I wanted to be in game design, it's like I had to go to school. I had to like try and, get my degree and then find a company somewhere with my portfolio. And now it's like
now it's
like 15 years later, I can just do this by myself at home.
It's super accessible, and like I definitely went to college and took lessons on it, but I really didn't need to.
But well, I mean, you did back then. But now we have YouTube.
Yeah.
We have this guy.
Yeah.
When we have Blender, and we have the Unreal 5, which, to my understanding, is it's made game development easier than it's ever been. Like, you have a literal drag and drop UI for like pseudocode prompts that correspond to actual code. Like it's apparently coding is like way less relevant with Unreal 5 than it.
Shit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you probably inevitably are gonna have to like go in and like actually like, do some code, but like there's like a whole drag and drop. They call it Blueprint. It's like a whole drag and drop UI thing that, that's how you tell the game what you want it to do.
Okay.
Apparently it's not that good with like, AI, like, making enemies do stuff. But like there's a lot of other stuff that it's good for. It just cuts down a lot of time. Apparently.
I would be curious to see what the bot pathing and AI and enemy, intelligence in general is going to be like.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll get better over time too. Like just the shortcomings for the enemy AI with that blueprint probably will become less relevant as the years go on.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead, click here, and I will see you there. Did you guys know that Blender 4.0 had a change that makes it more realistic by default? Or that there's a new technology that is going to expand the uses for 3D exponentially? Well, you would if you were on my free newsletter called This Week in 3D. It's an email from me once a week with 3 to 5 things that I found interesting that week from the world of 3D.
This guy said that he started this in 2003 too. I didn't even know that this Blender was that old. And I can only imagine how garbage the UI probably was back then.
I didn't even know about it back then, and I initially went to college at ITT Tech, and I was learning 3ds Max. I learned 3ds Max at CVTC later as well, but like these technologies were incredibly new. Blender was there, but it was so niche, and 3ds Max was already an incredibly clunky and frustrating tool.
Well, I mean, I would imagine back then 3ds Max was bad, and Blender was like not usable. They were probably trying to figure out how to make it usable. I would imagine. I imagine Blender in 2003 was probably like how Godot is now, where it's like it's there, but I mean, depending on
and I've done a little bit with Godot.
I think just depending on what you want out of it, like I told you for me, for what I want out of it, like it's just not gonna work. It's not powerful enough. Like especially if you want VR and like an optional VR mode for like a game, it's like it can't. It's what I've read is like it just can't do VR, and I haven't even found it.
It's not there yet. It's kind of there. Like the development community is working on it, and there's a little bit of VR support on Godot, so like it is there, but it's pretty simple. It's really bare bones.
Yeah, and in comparison, the impression I've gotten for Unreal 5 is that VR is like bing bang boom. It's like done. It's like it's basically just, I think it just has like just built in, like, you know what I mean? It's like
also
I
think I've been fucking with my donut this whole time.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
clip
that's
that out
right.
of context, but like I think I finally got like a good respect, like delicious looking donut shape, like fresh out of the bakery.
Yeah, I've been like staring at what you did, and I'm like, dude, I gotta freaking fix this thing. Like, I'm sick
And
of
like
staring at it.
that's just like grabbing a pixel, hitting G, and then like
Yeah,
manipulating the sphere of influence, and that's really all that is. And I've been kind of doing that, and now I've gotten mine to a point where it's like everything's like I tightened up the hole. I tightened up the donut hole considerably by loop selecting multiples at the same time. If you hold Shift and Alt,
yeah.
you can select the interior loops of the donut, and you can scale them tighter and closer together. I did that as well. How are you doing? I haven't checked on your stream in a bit. Yeah, just like that. And
No, that does not work. Not like
oh
that.
no, you're if you do that, then you also have to. That's just to transform them as a group. But instead of moving them that way, use S for the scale tool.
Oh, right. I don't know. Like,
And
I mean,
also,
yeah, that does work.
You're only selecting one line of hold Shift and Alt and select another line of edges, another chain of edges on the interior.
and then it makes the whole face.
Yeah,
Faces.
and then the lower ones too.
Faces.
Faces, yes.
And then S.
Yeah. And then you can scale that way and really tighten that donut hole.
I could also just,
really pucker it up a bit. You know what I'm saying?
I could also just F9. Oh no, I can't. Oh no, that doesn't. I could have sworn he said it was F9.
To render?
Like you click on the object and then you hit F9 and then it brings up the.
Oh well, I don't. Oh yeah, that it did that from sort of. Wait, hold on. F9.
No.
Oh, let's move. That might be in object mode, maybe.
Yeah, switch to object mode, and it's not.
No, it's not. I think it's because I've altered it too much. I put the modifiers on it, so it's no longer considered a. Yeah, because once it's got a modifier, it's no longer a primitive.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, edit mode.
Because mine was already tighter, I guess you could say. Mine was already fatter. Oh my god, I hate these words.
Thicker than a Snickers. Oh god. Okay. But yeah, you could even don't be afraid to bunch up your vertices. You could make that whole donut interior like you could pucker that up a lot more.
English needs new words.
Pucker your donut hole, damn it.
Okay. Oh yeah. Shift Alt.
Shift Alt, yeah.
And then S, and then
S, not G, yeah.
I don't think I've done enough faces.
I
think that's my problem.
Oh, that's good.
It's coming out pretty goofy. I don't know. It's just
I'm a little behind what you're doing, of course, but yeah, that looks great. Yeah.
Sure. Whatever.
And then you go back into the vertice mode. You get you grab the vertices at the peaks of those mountains, because it's really fucked up.
Oh, these ones. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you hit G, and then you smush them down into place.
Yeah, that.
It's a lot more intuitive than Blender version 3. This did not exist then.
That's what I was saying. Like, bro, if this is way better than 3, just imagine what freaking 1 was back in.
Oh man, it's gonna be. It feels a lot more intuitive.
It's got to be. If you're morbidly curious, it's gotta be out there somewhere you could download. Just see how far they've come.
Yeah, I could do that, couldn't I? There's someone to take in.
Like, yep. This thing was definitely trash back then. Well, I suppose technically you could just watch old tutorials too, but.
Yeah, that looks better. Yeah. There's a donut.
I mean, I'm not too picky about exactly how this donut looks anyway. The whole point is just.
Oh, I'm looking at my own shit now. My mistake.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just saying like the whole point is, I'm just not too worried about it. The whole point is just to learn how to use the program.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm not gonna get butthurt over how this donut looks at the end. Like.
Oh, I'm just kind of fussing and picking at mine while I'm waiting for you to
I should probably just hit
press
play
play.
again.
Whenever,
Yeah. No.
whenever
I'm
you're ready.
good.
I'm not
Yeah,
pressuring you or anything.
I am ready.
3D.
Okay.
So sometimes I share a new tool that I found, a remarkable tutorial, a new Blender feature,
Yeah, you joke about this, but I think actually, like, I would like some way to keep up with what's going on, because things are going to be constantly changing over the years. Why wouldn't you want to keep up with what is changing? You
Yeah.
know?
news story that affects the industry. So click the link in the description, enter your email address, and then you will stay up to date on the world of 3D. It's always free and it's always written by me. Now, on to the tutorial.
Especially if somebody else is doing all the work for me to keep up with stuff.
Exactly.
Welcome back to the Donut Show, where we make sad little donuts that we cannot eat. This is where we finished up at the end of part 1. We've got our nice looking donut, and now
Yeah, that is one thing about this, like, tutorials. The like, thing about it that sucks is, like, half the time I'm like, I want a donut by the end of it.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm thinking I want a fucking donut so goddamn bad.
It's the worst part
Okay.
about making food.
we're going to make
You
that
know what? It's
icing.
hold on.
You act,
It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna go get a donut, aren't you?
Let's go. Let's both go to the gas station and get some fucking donuts.
I've had enough calories today, but yeah, whatever.
Okay, sweet. Intermission.
I guess we're going to break.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll actually be able to continue. Like now that we've figured out that stupid problem I had. All right. Yeah, I did. Okay. Oh, I forgot I turned off my... Darn it. Jeez, the song that's playing right now is pretty sultry. What the hell?
You listening to sultry music?
This song is like not just lo-fi. This is like somebody is waiting in my bed in lingerie right now. Like- okay.
I am curious.
It's like do it like that.
Sounds like some
Like a-
fucking fire music to me.
The guitar bends. Yeah, and like meow, meow, meow. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, me too.
Okay. Wait, am I ready? Where did I actually screw it up and play?
Which looks complex, but is actually fairly simple. Now, as I mentioned before, if you want to add an object, you go Shift A, right? And then you start with something that resembles what you're trying to create. But we already have something that resembles the exact shape we want to create. It's the donut, because we want the icing around the donut. So let's just reuse this information. So we can do that by duplicating the object. And if you don't know the hotkey for it, you could just go Object, and then you'd find it here where it says Shift D. So Shift D. Now, when you hit that, you are in a placement state, essentially. Like it's duplicated and it's now saying, where do you want to place it? Now, in our case, and actually often, you don't actually want to change its placement. You want to duplicate it exactly where it was. So you can cancel the movement by hitting Escape or right-clicking. Now, when you do that, it looks like it's canceled the duplication, but you can see in your outliner, it has duplicated it. You've got two objects, but it's just in the exact same place, which is what we want. So first things first, we need to name them or else we could get very confused very easily. So you can name an object by just double clicking it in the outliner and then just typing in the object. The other way you can name something, I'll just show you the second way. If you select the Taurus 0.001, that's your icing object. If you're in the 3D view, where your cursor, is over the 3D viewport, if you hit F2, that's another very quick way that you can name something without having to go up to the outliner to find your object. So with our icing object selected, let's go into edit mode by hitting Tab. So we want the icing on the top, which means this bottom half of our mesh here is redundant. Don't need it. So we want to delete it. So if we just dragged over the bottom here, you can see it looks like we've selected the bottom half of our donut, but if you were to move around, you would see, oh, we haven't actually. It's only selected, annoyingly, what is facing the camera. Where there's a mesh, it's not gone through the mesh. A lot of users find this annoying. I agree. Sometimes it seems like that would be the more default one that would make more sense, but anyway, don't want to argue. So if you want to select through a mesh, you can go up to here in your top navigation, toggle X-ray. If you turn that on, it's going to enable you to see through the mesh. And now when I drag over it, you can see that I have selected all through the mesh as I move around it. By the way, you might find it like when you're in this state, it's kind of hard to select. Like it's easy to kind of accidentally select what is above it. And depending on what you've got at your end, that might have happened already. So another way to easily just look directly on the side-on of your donut is to just click one of these, like in your gizmo here, instead of just dragging around, just do a single click on either the green one or the red one, the X or the Y. And now we're in that state. You can see it's flattened it. So it's put you in orthographic mode, which actually you can toggle to at any time, just over there, which just makes it easier to just do a single all the way through the mesh select. All right. Okay. All right. So we want to delete that. So just hit the delete key. You get an extra option here of what do you want to delete? Edges, faces. You want the vertices. That's everything. And now we have, if we go back to object mode, and then let's turn off toggle X-ray as well. And you can see it's working. We got half the donut on top of itself. But as you move around, you can see you get some flickering. Now, this flickering happens, and it's actually it's actually a good warning sign to you as an artist, because it means you've got faces on top of faces, and the 3D software doesn't know which face it wants to render, right? So it's like sometimes saying it's the front face, no, the back face, the front face, and there's no understanding. Sometimes you can actually spot it in TV shows and like VFX or like low budget stuff. You can see something flickering in the background, and I'm like, ooh, there it is, Z fighting. That's what it's called, Z fighting, or Z fighting.
Z fighting.
So what we want to do is we want to give thickness to our icing. So we can do that with a solidify modifier. So adding another modifier, make sure you've got your icing selected, not your donut. And then here where you've got add modifier, we're going to go generate solidify. Okay. Now it's made it worse. It's actually added a thickness to our mesh there, but it's actually done it the wrong way. So it's with the normals. Yeah, what is it? It's trying to put the extra bit inside the donut. So we can change that by just changing the offset here in the solidifier settings. Just drag that all the way to 1. Some of you might have actually found that it was correct before, just depending on which way your normals were. If that's the case, keep it at -1, but everyone else keep it at 1. We just want to make sure it's actually outside. Okay. Let's just increase the thickness a little bit too. Let's go, 0.025. That looks pretty good. And great. We've got what looks like a yarmulke on our donut. A perfectly straight edge little hat for our donut. So let's make this look more like icing. So the edge is wavy all the way around. So to do this is where we get into the fancy, finger magic, because you're typing lots of keys. Anyway, go into edit mode, and we can see straight away that we can't see the mesh, and that's because the solidify modifier is obstructing our view. So these little boxes here, as I mentioned before, like this is to hide it from viewport, but if you want to just hide it from your edit mode, which is the state that we are in right now, the box next to it is the one that you uncheck, which means in object mode, when you're tabbed in object mode, you can still see it, but edit mode, it's it's temporarily hidden for you. So if I was to select one of these points here and move it down, you can see that it's working, but it would be, again, a lot of effort to go round and round and do these one by one. So we want to use that old familiar proportional fall off tool again. So proportional editing on, and now as I move it down, let's just lower the slider way down here, and then let's pull this down. Okay, now we'll find issues. If we move to the side here, we can see the first issue we've discovered is that this is separating from our mesh here. And that's not what icing does. When it dribbles down, it follows the shape of the donut all the way down. So what we want to do is snap, undo it a number of times, snap the vertices to our donut underneath it, right? So for that, we need to turn on snapping up here. Okay, now there are a number of ways to snap in Blender. The default way is increment, which just means the like the grid floor there. Like if you were to just like move it around, you can see it's just snapping to the grid floor. Not helpful. But we want to snap it to the face. And now with face snapping enabled, if we move this down, we can see, let's just look here, that the bottom bit is snapping to the face, but as you might have seen, the top bits, the rest of essentially what is inside of our circle of influence with this proportional editing, that's not being affected. Only the little point that we had selected was affected. So that's not what we want either. Normally that would be enough, but in this particular case, we want to also snap individual elements too. And let's go face project. Now, when we pull this down, you should see that these are also no longer clipping through the donut. But still, we have issues. Why is that? Well, it is actually working correctly. We can see these are not going through the mesh. So why does it look like it is? The reason for that is that there's actually just not enough information here. So if we go side on, you can see, right, like we've got this point here, and then we've got another point down here, and then we've got this long stretch in between, right? So that means that this part of the donut, oh gosh, that goes that goes around like that is just not, there's nothing to snap it to, essentially. So what we need to do to fix this is just add more geometry. So these little vertices here, we need more of those vertices. So we can do that by actually using the subdivision surface modifier. Because although it is a modifier, you can apply the modifier. And the modifier currently is adding geometry, so let's just apply it. So to apply it, we just click this little drop down here next to the modifier and then go apply. Now, if we, I mean, nothing should have changed from this view because the same information is being displayed. But in,
I think he added a subdivision thing to it to give it more vertices.
It was subdivision. Okay.
And my thing is screwed up. Okay. I'm actually.
So, did he add us? Did he do it? I see his subdivision surface, or I see his solidified, but I don't see his subdivision surface. What are you looking at? Let's see.
I'm actually looking at. I'm trying to figure out. I feel like I maybe missed something. I'm trying to make sure I got everything right.
Okay.
So he clicked on the magnet, and then he changed it to snap individual elements to face project.
Yep.
And that's it?
That's what we're at currently. Yeah.
Okay. Because
And then he added what I think is this extra subdivision modifier.
Right. Yeah, which I have.
But I'm not totally sure because I didn't quite see. Oh, where's my glasses? Hold on.
No, he definitely did that.
That would help.
Oh, was there already one and I added another one? Whoops.
I also grabbed another drink from the fridge. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, weird, because you look at mine, it's still doing that.
Looking at yours.
Is it supposed to wrap around it, isn't it?
It's supposed to do that.
This is correct?
You are correct. Yeah.
Okay.
edit mode, you should now see exponentially more faces, because here, where there was one face before, you can see there's now a lot more, right? 4x. Okay, 4x. Okay, so now if we pull down, we should see it is.
I'm not getting more vertices.
I'm not getting more vertices either. How is he doing this?
Should I add them?
Is it because we're not viewport shading?
I'm in solid mode right now for that.
How did you get to solid mode?
In the top right, when he was talking about rendered mode versus, you should be in solid mode.
Oh, the viewport shading solid. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm in that. But like I'm in the proportional editing. I don't know. I'm not getting all those extra vertices. Why not?
Just gonna add another subdivision modifier and see what happens. Who knows?
Do I have to drag it up here?
Wait, why are you on the inside? What are you doing?
We were fucking around with displays earlier too. Show overlays. Yeah. Show gizmo. Yeah. It did not add any additional
Like,
geometry.
I'm seeing things change, but it's not. Yeah, it's not actually adding anything. Simple. No, that's not it.
What the hell? Oh man. How did we change the viewports to show, like if we changed from edit mode to object mode, we see the effect. Right?
And what effect?
Well, in object mode, you see the actual effect that the solidify has.
I see like, the part that's clipping through, like it's slightly smaller every time I do it, but it's like, yeah, the actual number of vertices that I'm seeing are not changing.
And that's in edit mode, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously in
Oh,
object
wait,
mode.
I remember. Solidify shows it here. What's this? On cage. Adjust edit cage to modify. Wait, maybe that's it.
Just
Go
edit.
back
What?
to edit mode. Turn that off. Okay, wait. This might be it. Hold on. No, it's not. Why is this not showing up? What the actual fuck? Use limit surface? What's this do? Place vertices at the surface that would be produced. No, let's not use limit surface. UV smooth to use creases, use custom normals. No, don't need anything in TechnisKalTorak type of subdivision algorithm. Simple, no.
We could just restart the part. Just back up a bit. Rewind a bit.
Oh, yeah. What the heck? Something is.
I want to watch it again. Yeah, I want to.
Snapping. And
Whoops. That was weird.
if we go into this mode, you can see that it's now conforming to the
Whoa.
mesh in a much more
I just learned you can like hold left click on a YouTube video and scrub it. No, I don't mean down here. I mean like up there, like.
pop down here next to the modifier, and then go apply. Now, if we, nothing should have changed.
Oh god, what are you doing?
Okay. I'm just gonna play it again.
These are not going through the mesh, so why does it look like it is? The reason for that is that there's actually just not enough information here. So if we go side on, you can see, right, like we've got this point here, and then we've got another point down here, and then we've got this long stretch.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah,
Actually,
I think
snap
we
to.
need to go further back.
Okay,
here.
so we want to
Yeah.
also snap individual elements too, and let's go face project. Now, when we pull this down, you should see that these are also no longer clipping through.
See, mine didn't do that.
Yeah, let's see. He's not showing his in edit mode. And then I get this and I go G. And I hit Z. and it's not really doing that.
And mine did snap to the donut when I did this.
There's some
Donut
kind.
snap
I'm
before.
getting some kind of weird snapping, but like now I'm getting the behavior that I was expecting, but I'm still not getting the extra geometry that I'm supposed to fucking have. Like, I see it on the model. I can increase the levels viewport, but the geometry doesn't change. Is it because I haven't applied it? Move to first. Oh, something happened. Solidify, subdivision. There's another subdivision. Oh, there is. Oh. Maybe that's what it was. He didn't add a new subdivision. He went to the old subdivision.
And that's what I thought, because it's still there. And I don't know, I tried both.
Oh my god. Okay,
But,
hold on. Let me I'm gonna clear this out. Then this subdivision increases. Yeah, sort of. God damn it. It's just not working. Optimal display, no. What does he do? Yeah, go ahead and press go further back than that.
Yeah, snap to face. Let's just do that. Yeah.
And move it down, you can see that it's working, but it would be, again, a lot of effort to go round and round and do these one by one. So we want to use that old familiar proportional fall off tool again. So proportional editing on, and now as I move it down, let's just lower the slider way down here, and then let's pull this down. Okay, now we'll find issues. If we move to the side here, we can see the first issue we've discovered is that this is separating from our mesh here. And that's not what icing does. When it dribbles down, it follows the shape of the donut all the way down. So what we want to do is snap, undo it a number of times, snap the vertices to our donut underneath it, right? So for that, we need to turn on snapping up here. Okay, now there are a number of ways to snap in Blender. The default way is increment, which just means the like the grid floor there. Like if you were to just like move it around, you can see it's just snapping to the grid floor. Not helpful. But we want to snap it to the face. And now with face snapping enabled, if we move this down, we can see, let's just look here, that the bottom bit is snapping to the face, but as you might have seen, the top bits, the rest of essentially what is inside of our circle of influence with this proportional editing, that's not being affected. Only the little point that we had selected was affected. So that's not what we want either. Normally that would be enough, but in this particular case, we want to also snap individual elements too. And let's go face project. Now, when we pull this down, you should see that these are also no longer clipping through the donut. But still, we have issues. Why is that? Well,
Okay, now it hugged around the side of the donut.
Yeah, well, he's about to explain.
Yeah,
The vertices themselves are not going through the nearest donut, but the effect is having some weird issues because it needs more geometry.
Yeah. But there was another thing earlier where like it was not hugging the donut like it was supposed to before, and now it did.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah.
it is actually working correctly. We can see these are not going through the mesh. So why does it look like it is? The reason for that is that there's actually just not enough information here. So if we go side on, you can see, right, like we've got this point here, and then we've got another point down here, and then we've got this long stretch in between, right? So that means that this part of the donut, oh gosh, that goes that goes around like that is just not, there's nothing to snap it to, essentially. So what we need to do to fix this is just add more geometry. So these little vertices here, we need more of those vertices. So we can do that by actually using the subdivision surface modifier. Because although it is a modifier, you can apply the modifier. And the modifier currently is adding geometry, so let's just apply it. So to apply it, we just click this little drop down here next to the modifier and then go apply. Now, if we, nothing should have changed from this view because the same information is being displayed. But in edit mode, you should now see exponentially more faces, because here, where there was, one face before, you can see there's now a lot more, right?
Okay.
4x. Okay, 4x. Okay. So now if we pull down.
It did it different.
Ooh, let me see what yours looks like.
It's like it made 2 layers of the same amount of vertices.
Oh. That's probably intentional, actually. Hold on, let me take a look. How did you get yours? Why are you able to see?
Oh, why did it go away?
You are in object mode. Go to edit mode.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Oh, you're in X-ray mode. Okay. Yeah, yours is weird. Back up. Show me your edit history. Let's see. Go to toggle edit mode underneath apply. Oh God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th from the top. Yeah. Okay, and then from here you're in object mode. But you haven't really done anything. Go back to edit history. I gotta look at the actual actions. Apply modifier, toggle edit mode, toggle apply modifier, set active modifier, move, box select. What were those box selects? It's probably far back enough.
This was
Yeah,
when I was talking
yeah.
about issue.
Okay. So, in your modifier list, go ahead and make sure that that pixel gets moved back to wherever you want it to be moved to. I think that's what you were doing. You were following the video and moving those pixels with them. You can go ahead and move that back up if you'd like, or you can go through the undo history, but it doesn't really matter.
So I think I
And
need
now,
oh shit.
Okay, so you have on the right-hand side of your screen in your modifiers list, the scroll up and get the other one. Yeah, that is what you want. Change your levels to 2. Yeah, and no, well, that's fine. 2 and 2 is fine. And then you see that drop-down caret? Above where it says simple. At the top of the...
Oh, I need to be not in edit mode.
Oh, yeah, object mode. And then that black drop-down, then apply. Yep. And then you go back to edit mode.
Don't know what was different.
Perfect. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, awesome. That's fucking awesome. That's where we want it to be.
Okay. Now I want to see if this works. Yeah, yep, it does. Okay. There we go. Should probably get out of this X-ray. Well, I don't know.
Oh, to get out of the X-rays in the top right.
This thing, right? Yeah. Oh, shoot. What? That still looks terrible.
And you, here's something that I'm gonna kind of, I don't know, experiment with, is use the loop select on the very bottom loop of the icing, and then you can probably tighten it all up around the exterior of the donut. Yep, that worked for me. Oh my god, that's so nice. Oh, I'm gonna do that to the middle now. Okay, this one here. Okay. And this is gonna be a bit weirder. Oh boy. I'll have to look at it from up here, aren't I? Yep, okay. As long as it looks good from above. Right there, I think. That's nice and tight. Oh, interesting. What was I doing just now then? Oh, whoops. I selected 2 rings by accident. Never mind. Yeah, this one. Okay. Try this again. Looks weird. Hold on, I can't see what I'm doing here.
Oh yeah, I see what happened. I had something really screwy happen, but I see what happened.
I think I got it.
Fixed it.
Oh, yeah, that tightened it up real good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this icing looks kick-ass. Yeah! Donuts, motherfucker! Oh, that looks really nice. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Oh, that's right. We have to make the bottom droopy in places, don't we? I was experimenting.
Honestly, I think just like playing around like a kid with stuff is a valid way to learn how stuff works.
That's how I learned Photoshop.
Yep.
Wait, yeah, and I don't even need to hit every pixel. I can just kind of freehand it around the edge. I like that. A nice wavy pattern to it. Oh, now we're a little more difficult. Let's reduce that. There we go. Oh, whoa. Zooming in too far. Can I see what I want to get? You. There we go. That's a bit difficult, isn't it? There, I think that's a bit better. This one, that's what I want. There, that's a much cleaner transition. Okay. And we'll come down here. Okay, come and transition down over here. It's not going to be a totally perfect application. Let's drop this down a little bit. Yeah. I like the little lip that it's creating too.
I think making literally any kind of change is like enough. Like it really doesn't take much for the human eye to notice that it's not perfectly level.
Yeah, you're right. I'm noticing that as I go across the edge of this icing, like, as long as you just bump it, it's pretty good. Oh, I need to be pulling a lot of this down, apparently. It needs to look droopy. I forgot about that. What did I just do? There. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a good icing layer. I like this a lot. I could have done the inside, but I don't really care too much, you know? It's the outside, I think, is where it's going to shine the most.
It's the outside that counts, right?
There, okay.
I'll do the inside, screw it. I'm just
No, all right, I'll join you then.
I'm not putting any real care into it. I'm just doing literally anything. As long as it doesn't look as bad as that just did. Definitely helps to look at it head on. It's nice how they have all these tools that, like, yeah, you just, after you set everything up, you just kind of do stuff and then the program just knows what you want.
Yeah. And, like, you saw the beginning of it in the early days, but it is so much nicer now.
Okay, that's good enough for me. I mean, I get the point. I get the point at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with mine, I think.
We should see it is snapping. And if we go into this mode, you can see that it's now conforming one more. Because if I pull down and if I scroll up, you'll see something. Okay, if I was to click, we get this horrible...
Yeah, I literally did that earlier when you were like doing something else, and then I just figured it out on my own.
Oh yeah, how'd you just
problem.
kind of reposition the pixels or
I
vertices?
just Control Z'd and then realized what I did, and then didn't do it again. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've done this tutorial on enough, and enough people have hit this issue that I need to call it out specifically, because it seems to be a big point that a lot of people just don't know where to go from.
This is kind of what I was talking about too, like the upside to him like doing this tutorial like 4 different times every time, you know, there's like a new major version of Blender out. It's like, because
It's got experiences to what people are running into.
Yeah.
what's happened is if we use a what's it called, the circle of influence for our proportional editing, if that is so high, it's actually high enough to reach the mesh on the other side of the donut. And then because we've got snapping, it's now projecting that, snapping it to the front, which is creating this like something that's a nightmare to fix. I mean, in fact, it's easy to...
You could even see when it started like dragging all the other ones.
Yeah.
To be a big point that a lot of people just don't know where to go from. What's happened is if we use a what's it called, the circle of influence for our proportional editing, if that is so high, it's actually high enough to reach the mesh on the other side of the donut. And then because we've got snapping, it's now projecting that, snapping it to the front, which is creating this like something that's a nightmare to fix. I mean, in fact, it's easy just to start from scratch than to try to fix that. So if we want... Sorry, there's a lot of noise. To fix this, we need to hide the part of the mesh that we don't want to be influenced by our proportional tool, right? So to do that, there is an easy way to do it. We can actually do it very precisely. So if with this middle bit of our donut here, if I just hold down Alt and then do a left click, as I mentioned before, that selects the ring, okay? And we could do that all the way up, but actually there's a little, I don't know if it's an Easter egg. It's kind of a cool tool that not many people know about. Control plus. That will enable the select more tool. And if you use Control plus, Control minus goes the other way, you can see that it's expanding out. So Control plus will just like select the next vertice along a chain, roughly speaking. And you can see we can very quickly select all the parts of the mesh that we don't need, right? Very cool. By the way, if Control plus doesn't work for you because you're on a laptop or something else, select more, less. You can also do it here. Anyways, to hide this part of the mesh, it's H for hide. So when you're in this state, it looks as though it's been deleted. It's very, sometimes you don't know where part of your mesh, and then you forgot that you've got hide turned on. If parts of your mesh are hidden and you want to bring it back, it's Alt H. So H to hide and then Alt H to bring it back. Or if you can't remember it for whatever reason, you can also find it. Okay, it's underneath mesh. There we go. Mesh. Reveal hidden or hide selected. Okay, so that's the other way. But you can get my keyboard shortcut. That's in the link. It's free. Just use that and then you won't forget a lot of these handy shortcuts. All right, so now finally, after all that, after 4 different ways and problems to explain, we can now take part of this mesh and drag it down, and it will work correctly. Haha. Okay. So now we get to now finally be an artist and go like, what sort of, edge or what sort of icing do I want to make this look like?
So if we'd have waited like 2 more minutes, we could have had an easier job doing that. What we already did.
Yeah. We did learn about the shortcomings of that though, but how did he unhide his mesh again?
Probably just hitting H again. Actually, did he say? I might have spaced out for 2 seconds.
Oh, I'll just unhide. There. Just undo.
So what I'm doing here, by the way, is I'm hitting G to pull it down, and then I'm just single middle click, and then because my cursor is closest to the Z-axis, it's now snapping it to the Z-axis. So that's why I mentioned before that it's really handy. You don't have to think of the letter and type it in. You just go in the general direction you want to go, and then just tap the middle click of the which is your scroll wheel, right? Middle click. It's such a weird button that you have to call it out. It's the scroll wheel button, because it's like no other application seems to use it besides scrolling. But Blender is like, no, we're going to use it for like 90% of the operations is going to be middle click. But anyways, as you can see, I'm not paying particularly too much attention to it, but I'm just making a wavy looking shape around it. You might also want to make some bits that go the opposite direction, right? And then maybe pull, so you've got like big shapes as well as medium shapes and some small shapes. Big, medium, small. It's the recipe for appealing design. Big, medium, and small details. But I digress. By the way, I should mention, if you're stuck, don't feel bad, because there was certainly a lot of a lot of finickiness going on with this donut here, and we're definitely in the steep part of that curve at the moment. Do make use of my Discord if you are stuck. I created it literally so that people could get instantaneous help. I don't have any other benefit for it, so it's there so that you can find help. Link is in the description, and there's like donut help chat room where you can post screenshots of your problem and then people can help each other out. So do make use of that. Now, our shading issue here, this darkened edge, is actually going to fix itself by fixing another issue. So it's a two birds, one solution kind of problem. This 90-degree edge here for this icing, not ideal. Everybody knows that a real icing would create like a rounded edge there, right? So we can fix that just by adding another subsurf modifier. Because you might remember I mentioned, like, yes, if you've got 3 vertices, it'll create like another vertice here and another vertice here, but it'll also like round it out. It'll pull this one back, so you end up with a rounded corner. So right here in your modifier stack, we're going to go add modifier, generate subdivision surface. Now, again, the order of these does matter. Okay, you want your solidifier at the top and the subdivision after it. So Blender works top to bottom, and it's important it's in this way because you want the extrusion to happen first, and then in order to round that edge, it has to happen as a secondary step. So solidify on top, subdivision underneath. Now, whilst we're here and we're looking at the close-up, nice little profile of this edge of this icing, another issue to call out. You can see it's got this this shape that goes around. Yes, so far so good. But then it goes up. And it's like, it'll be...
Spaced out. What did he say? So you had a subdivision under the...
Yeah, subdivision underneath solidify.
Yep. And then what do you do with that? Because I didn't even have it for some reason. I had to actually grab it again.
Yeah, that's perfect. You were not supposed to have it.
Okay.
We're adding a new subdivision.
Okay.
It's a thing you will get used to.
And then you just hit apply or what?
And then you just hit apply, and that cements the modifier into the mesh that you have.
And that was all he did. He didn't do any other.
Yeah, he only created a subdivision. I increased my levels viewport to 2 to make it look more like icing myself. Okay. But that's what he's talking about here, is like trying to smooth out that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
I know.
It'd be better if it went around and then tucked in and touched the edge of it, because that would look more like real liquid would. So we can solve that by just changing one of the settings in the solidify modifier. It's not one of those things that you would figure out or know where it is. It's just over time you learn where some of these settings are. But essentially here, the edge data. So we want to change the edge data to say that before you do the solidify step, add a crease on the inner part right here. If we increase this all the way to 1, it now creates a sharpened edge just on that inner part there. So the rest of it is a smoothed edge, but the middle one, there's a crease, so it's making a sharp edge there. And it just gives it, it's just a little bit more realism. Just looks a little bit closer to what you would imagine real icing would do. Okay, now for the cool bit. All right, so if you look at reference of donuts, right, yes, you've got these little wavy bits, but where the icing is really liquidy, it'll often break off from this wave here, and it'll create a trail that goes down underneath the donut, right? It just sort of drips all the way down. Whoops, bumped the microphone. So we can do that, but not the way we were doing it before. If we just took one of these points and then like dragged it all the way down like that, there wouldn't be enough information there, right? You can see you just get this like stretched look, and it doesn't look great, okay? So essentially we need to give it more information, and we couldn't just do it by like adding more and more subdivision surfaces. We need to actually like break this shape here and create a new shape that goes down. So we need to extrude. So if I select this vertice and then the one next to it by holding down Shift, I don't think I mentioned it, but yeah, if you want to select 2 things at once, it's Shift, Select. Anyways, so if we select 2 vertices like that, we want to extrude it downward by hitting E. So when you tap E, it's similar to G in that you're in a placement state now, saying where do you want to place this? So I'm going to move it down to, yeah, like about there where I want the trail to stop, and I'm just going to do click, left click, and it's now placed it there. Now, it's hard to see it, but if I just switch to wireframe, you can see what it's doing. So it's created this breakaway shape here, an entirely new face that's
right, can you
completely
replay
separate to
that
what
section?
we've got there currently.
I need to for myself.
Yeah. Extrusion. Oh, extrusion. Okay. So what tool is he using then? Okay, yeah.
Extrude it downward by hitting E. So when you tap E, it's similar to G in that you're in a placement state now, saying where do you want to place this? So I'm going to move it down to, like about there where I want the trail to stop, and I'm just going to do click, left click, and it's now placed it there. Now, it's hard to see it, but if I just switch to wireframe, you can see what it's doing. So it's created this breakaway shape here, an entirely new face that's completely separate to what we've got there currently.
Please pause.
Was yours like a perfect square going down?
No, mine just crashed.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. The whole thing just crashed on me. Oh no. Continue. Donut. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Hold on. I think I can catch up pretty quick.
Well, otherwise I can just send you the one that you sent me. Well, actually, no, you could just open up that file. Well, no, that's ways back.
That's the file
no,
I'm
oh my
working
god,
with.
you're right. I'm dumb. That file was like an hour ago. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, but I should be able to. What was it? Duplicate. Oh, how did? Deselect. Oh, it was crap. Duplicate. There it is. Okay. Wait. It's duplicating a single edge. Oh, for fuck's sake. Let me switch to object mode. And add, what was it? Select. Where did I find it? Object. Transform. Duplicate object. There we go. Okay. There it is. Oh. Okay. And then I'll rename it icing. And then I switch to this mode, then this mode, then this mode, vertices mode. I'll select only these vertices, delete the vertices. Okay. I've got that, and then I was supposed to... I've got the subdivision. I apply the subdivision, right? No, I apply the generate. I apply the shell. No, the skin.
Did you have to go back some steps?
No, the solidify. Yeah, I have to go through a bunch of steps.
Oh, okay. If you need me to back up, I can. Unless you think you can recall it.
I think I can recall it. I'm just going to... Oh, right. I have to be back in object mode. Do you remember how we were supposed to add... Oh boy, hold on. Fuck it. Just... What? Why is this not working? Oh, that's edit mode. That's fine. Okay, so then apply... And then back in edit mode, there's all the vertices. Okay, I've got that. And then I've got the solidify. Then I need... Okay, so I've got my two assets. I've got my donut and I've got my icing. And then we need to make it drippy. But there was a process to making it drippy. It was... Oh, right. We select... get out of X-ray mode. We select the interior.
Yep, and then Control plus or minus. Control plus to add more.
And get like the whole top half of the donut, top interior half of the donut. Click H to hide it. And then back to the viewport. And then I can make, oh wait, now we snap to snap individual elements to face project, and then I can grab that, press G, and it's dripping. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna make it like a quick and dirty drip of stuff around.
Right. For whatever reason, when I extruded, the entire thing is just a perfect square. And I don't know why.
His excuse me, I keep needing to clear my throat. His did look like it was creating a square beneath, because that's what you're extruding. You're kind of extruding extra geometry from the pre-existing geometry.
Right. And which would make sense with just the vertices themselves, but well, I'll just let him keep going, and maybe it's actually not a big deal. We'll find out.
Yeah, give me a second here, and then I'll get caught up.
I can probably finish this video.
My first donut. Oh yeah.
Finish this video, and then I'm honestly getting kind of tired.
Oh okay.
Because I've kind of just relented the idea that my body, especially in the summer, needs to go to bed when the sun goes down, because by the time it comes up, I'm waking up. I might be able to
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I might be able to fix that. I heard that as opposed to melatonin for sleep, if you get a magnesium-based supplement, that's apparently better, because your body still produces its own melatonin then.
Yeah, because it's a hormone that your body produces naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think I've got a good shell. Okay, that's my mesh with my solidify. Then I need to make an additional subdivision surface, and that's supposed to be underneath or above the solidify.
Wait, what's above? The subdivision is below the solidify.
Hold on. Okay, there was something before that. It made it like puffy. How did he make it puffy? That was with the solidify?
I don't think there's anything before it. It's just solidify and subdivision. Those are the only two modifiers we've even used thus far.
What's the thickness value for your solidify?
0.025. That's what he has, 2.025. And his offset's
0.025. Oh. Offset. Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Offset's 1. I had to set it to 1.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I was looking for. That made it puffy.
Yeah,
looks like. Oh, how do you unhide? That's the last thing is
Did H not work again?
Well, H would hide what you have selected.
So logic, well, and you would think if you had the same stuff selected that it would just unhide again. Well, maybe
He just said it. Let me quick search.
Yeah, he probably did say it, and I just missed it.
I missed it too.
I'd have to find the part where he mentions it. Oh my god.
Alt H.
Alt H? Okay.
Alt H. Hey, that did it. Fuck yeah. Oh, he also put like a lip on his frosting.
The extruding part?
No. Oh, wait. There's like normals, materials, edge data. Okay. Crease inner. Let me get to this viewport. We've got a yeah, because there's like it's really weird looking. I think. Oh no! I need to put the I need to put the subdivision surface. And we put the subdivision surface below the solidify, like you said, right?
Yep.
Then inner crease. Oh, yeah, inner crease to 1. That looks really good. Okay, I'm now caught up.
All right, sweet. Save it.
Yeah, save. Okay. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Please
Gonna-
continue.
Yep.
And what this means is if we go to object mode, you can see it's not just like continuing this form here, it's pulled it down, right? Which is exactly what we want. And in fact, I wanted to go even...
Yeah,
Wait,
well,
please pause. Oh my
that's-
god, I tried to extrude and it crashed on me again.
Well, that's why you saved.
Yes.
Although, man, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wondered if
Are
that
you
computer.
tired?
No, I mean that too, but I meant like I kind of wondered if that computer can handle this.
Hello?
Hello, you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah, I said yeah that too, but what I was gonna say is I've been kind of wondering if the computer you're using can handle this.
No, it was a software issue. I extruded and it created things.
Okay.
It created things.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it created, but it did extrude. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. And it, yeah. Next thing.
Next thing. Okay, yeah, but well, actually, I have an issue because like you look at my
Oh.
stream, and that's what happened when I extruded. That's what I was talking about. It's just a perfect square.
Mine
Switch to
kind of
object
made
mode.
a squarish like thing as well.
Mine's not squarish. Mine is square. It's perfectly square.
That's very weird.
Yeah. I probably should just undo it.
Yeah, just undo it and see if it does the same thing in a different spot. Oh, geez.
Okay, that's before I extruded.
Okay.
So, I guess just
Are you extruding from the donut or the icing?
the icing. See what it did there? It, like, did something weird.
All right, now press E and then drag your mouse down.
I press E and then it does that. You see what it does right there?
And then move your mouse.
I right clicked to cancel and it did that.
All right, undo.
Like, and I didn't
Like
have this.
Control Z?
I know I didn't have this issue before. When the first time I did this, like,
Oh.
I know I didn't.
Yeah, just press E and then press Z and then move your mouse down. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. It's extruding an extra vertice. That's fine. It's creating an entirely new face, which is what it was doing for him, and it's doing something similar to mine as well.
Yeah, but look at his.
Further than that. So I'm going to select those two vertices. I'm going to want. And in fact, it's...
See that? See that right there? Look at how his looks. Look how mine
All
is
right.
turning out.
All right, looking at yours.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like that right now, but
Show me though.
this is what I'm talking about. This is object mode. It's not.
Are you only selecting one vertice, or are you selecting
I'm
an
selecting
edge?
2.
Oh no, only select one vertice.
Oh, is that? Oh,
Yeah, because now you're extruding from both vertices if you have both vertices selected.
you sure? You sure about that?
Now what you're doing is go ahead and click,
Here, hold on.
and I think I understand what's going on. Go ahead and like extrude a shit ton.
It definitely
like that.
extruded one single vertex.
Perfect. Now it's extruding from the actual wire mesh, but that black line that goes to nowhere is extruding from the rendered mesh. So I bet we're going to learn a shit ton about extrusion if we go further.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Pulled it down, right? Which is exactly what we want. And in fact, I want it to go even further than that. So I'm going to select those 2 vertices, and I'm going to pull it down again, and then I'll do it again. And the reason I've done this 1, 2, 3 is that this detail here is important so that it conforms to the shape of the donut. Because if there's not enough, you're going to have that clipping issue that I showed you earlier. So that's pretty good. And now we're going to do it again. Originally in my earlier versions of the donut, I only did like 1 of these, but then I noticed that in the render, the final render, it's often the most interesting part of the donut.
He's clicking 2 vertices. He's dragging 2 vertices.
Yes, he is. Okay, so that's what he's doing to like create extra drips of chocolate that come down the side.
That's
or
what he's
something
doing
like
to
that.
extrude. He's extruding by grabbing 2 vertices at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Jesus, it doesn't matter where
So now I'm thinking, yeah, just do it all the way around the donut. Just add the bit that looks cool. Add more of that. So here, so wherever there's essentially like a big dip is what I'm looking for. Like where the liquid would sort of build up and then like the surface tension there would be just too much and then it would break away.
And it follows down. I see what he was talking about. Okay.
Down underneath like that. And we'll do another one here. Why not? Like that, and down, and down. And that's pretty good. Haha. Lovely.
This is like being a writer, where you also have to learn how to be an architect, and you have to learn biology. You have to, literally anything you're going to write about, you have to like do research. This is like what he's talking about, like, like knowing how the physics of a donut works in real life. But yeah.
So that concludes finally this heavy part of the tutorial. So if you're ready to watch the next part, hope you're not giving up. You can.
Okay, so I've kind of thought about it for myself. Like, I feel like it was kind of obvious because you know how I was like saying, I feel like I've got to keep like doing stuff. I can't just like do this 1 day a week and then like not touch it and then come back a week later.
Yeah.
I think what I could just do is just like review these first 3 parts until next week, and then we can move on to like 4, 5, and 6, and then I can review those for the following week. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, you know what? I can get behind that. Yeah, I like
just
that.
like literally what you would do in a class. Like I felt dumb that I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh my god, that's so obvious that I spent my whole life doing that against my will. Except this time it's something I care about.
Yeah, and, like we kind of grow up as kids like very, very like not liking studying and classwork and learning new things. But now that we're old enough to really appreciate knowledge for what it is, now we've got that framework of like, okay, now I know how to kind of study and go through these things, and at least people know how to put lessons together from, it's pretty cool. It's just kind of something we can come back to.
Yeah, I guess school does kind of just teach you how to, because school can at least teach you how to learn. Like, remember even one time you probably remember like a couple of years ago when I did a cosplay contest and I like played a song, and
yeah,
I like a couple of times kind of sort of learned it, but I didn't really get it figured out until like the week of. And then I had to like think back to when I took band in high school, well, grade school, middle school, and high school, and like how we would like chunk parts out, be like, okay, let's just focus on these few measures right here, right now, and then we can go back and do these other measures. Like instead of just trying to do the whole thing front to back over and over again in a loop, just like focus on certain parts. Like it doesn't even have to be like focus on front to back. Like
yeah, exactly. And then you're not like chewing the whole thing out. You're not cramming.
Yeah, you kind of just get to a part where like when you get to I don't know, it's just like certain parts you get to and you're like, oh yeah, I've already got this down. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I just thought back to that, and then I like did it that week, and I like it actually worked out for me, and I actually had the thing figured out in like 5 days. And it was a complicated walking jazz bass thing. Like, oh man, it was fun though. But yeah, okay, yeah, okay, that's good enough for me. Because otherwise, well, I mean, technically we could cram in another one, but I don't feel like it. Like, there's no point.
Yeah,
My brain's getting
it's up to
fried.
you. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's a good place to stop then.
That's like 3.5 hours. Well, 3 hours. I won't count the break. We'll just say it was like 3 hours of studying.
Pretty much was. It really was. And like, not only that, we did a lot of troubleshooting and,
Yeah, once you hit that part where just nothing was working for like 20 minutes, like that
Oh,
also,
God,
that's mentally draining.
yeah.
But
But
yeah.
we worked through it. We figured it out. We did all right. We had a lot of fun. Really getting back into like the creative sort of mechanisms of my brain, being more than just business oriented or just mindless video game
Yeah.
streaming. This is cool. Yeah, let's do this again next week.
Yeah, I would. I'm like thinking long term, like it'd be nice to like, when I start actually creating things, it'd be nice, but then that's a whole other can of worms though, because it's like, you look at like anyone else that like makes a game or something, like majority of the stuff they don't show.
No, that's true. Like, there are people who stream their indie game creations start to finish.
I probably
Like, you
should
could
try
do
and
that.
find those people, because I only know like the surface level, like most developers just don't show everything. Because I just think about, if you literally showed yourself making a game front to back on stream, like everyone's gonna know everything, and no one's gonna like, why play the game then? They know the entire,
Well,
like, it's spoilers, major spoilers is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, exactly. There is that, but the people that you will sell your game to are going to be a much wider audience than the people you stream to.
The people that
The
like
people you
weren't there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the people that you stream to, they're going to share your game. So you're
Yeah,
going to
that's
get
true
word of
too.
mouth advertising, which is some of the best advertising. But also, just make little games that you don't have to care about. They don't have to be your magnum opus or your masterpiece or
That's what
anything
everybody
like
keeps
that.
telling me too. That's a whole other thing too, because it's like that's solid advice, except for the part where, if I don't really care about it, why am I doing it?
Yeah, for me, I find the balance in other motivators. Like, for example, today, like, you and I are going through the same tutorials, and having you there as another motivator is something that's really powerful. It's a kind of a force multiplier, if you will. It's another way to motivate yourself up. I keep saying that.
I mean, it's just like two people jogging together. Like, they're gonna keep each other going. Like, it's way easier to just stop jogging and just start walking if you don't have someone else there being like, hey, what, you're gonna stop already?
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, like, I would love to be able to make these incredible, like, detailed and fantastic dragons, but I'm not at that point yet. So instead, I'm going to make a bunch of little primitive, simple dragons, and then,
Yeah.
do things that are kind of interesting and kind of what I'm looking to do along the way, so that once I get to the thing that I really want to do, I'll be ready.
And I mean, like, obviously, with the same logic, it's like, if I had to do that same logic, it's like, why am I even doing this Blender tutorial? But it's obvious why I'm doing the Blender tutorial, because I kind of need to, and I'm very well aware that, like, this is, like, the best starting tutorial out there, probably because it just covers such a wide range of, like, things you will be using on other projects.
And, like, I don't know, just, he doesn't spend too much time on the super basic tools. He explains it in a way that makes them logical and intuitive, like just moving the vertices around. Like, you could spend so much time on making materials just explaining the absolute basics. And that you would be valid, but he doesn't really do that. He just kind of like throws you into it, and you learn organically. So I'm really happy with that.
He's teaching all of these tools and features in a practical way by having us make this donut instead of an abstract way, just telling us how the program works.
Exactly.
Which is the best way to teach somebody something. He could be teaching this at a college if he really wanted to, but he decided to make a YouTube tutorial instead for free for everyone.
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty cool of him to do that. 'Cause
Yeah.
he totally didn't need to.
Let alone doing it like 4 times every time
Oh.
every time it's Blender 2.0, 3.0, 4.0.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yep, I'm going.
we could probably end here.
Yep.
Yeah, you go to bed, you get some sleep, and I'll see you next week.
Yep.
Night night. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Thank you, lovelies, for joining us tonight while we fumble through the 3D modeling. This is kind of a thing we're probably just going to do going forward. I'm probably going to still try and do like game streams by myself, but I really want to make myself go back to Stellar Blade tomorrow, like I told myself I was going to do last week, and then I didn't because stuff happened. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm going to hit straight to bed right now because my biggest problem is trying to get sleep. If I just don't get enough sleep, it's like the whole day is ruined. It snowballs everything else. This first thing you got to get right is getting enough sleep. So I'm going to bed right now. Thank you, lovelies, for joining me. I will see you later. Jenny.